Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a rare Monday. Welcome to a rare Monday stream. And we're already on some bullshit. Is that what we're doing today? Is that what we're doing today? You absolutely can hear me. You absolutely can hear me because I am testing my audio. And so I know for a fact that I am able to be heard. And now I sound better. What car do I drive? What are you, the feds? The fuck? What car do you drive? What's your blood type, by the way? Like, what's the occasion we're streaming on a random Monday? The occasion is I have been wanting to play that desktop explorer game. I know I blueballed a lot of people and yesterday and I wanted to play it. That's all. I wanted to play it. I wanted to play it and then I want to talk about that shit. That's completely normal questions. No, not in this chat. Ask me what kind of car I drive. We call that is conspicuous consumption, okay? That is wanting to know how I transport myself. That is not important. What's important is that I have a vehicle. That's what's important. I use public transportation. I'm kidding. No, I don't. Listen, man, after my last stream, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some feds in here taking my shit down, okay? I would not be surprised. Actually, I would be. Because who gives a shit about me? But yeah, I wanted to play some more demos. You guys caught me. You caught me, okay? I wanted to play some more. We give a shit. Stop. It's just the stream should absolutely not be lagging. I have 0 drop frames on my end. No, but I drive an electric car. I'll leave it at that. I drive an electric vehicle because I am a dirty lib. You missed yesterday's stream. Well, all you missed yesterday, if you guys weren't here yesterday, all you missed was me playing some games and getting stuck on one puzzle of a game for like 40 minutes. Then I had to leave to go to a Father's Day dinner. But during that stream, we hit 9,000 subscribers. We hit 9K subscribers. That's why the puzzle was hard though. Yeah, it was. It was, and then I realized too late that you could just rearrange it. Part of me wants to start from the beginning so people who missed it can see it. By the way, this is a protein pop tart I'm trying out to see if I like them or not. Because I've had the legendary pop tarts, which like 20 grams of protein but super like chalky. We got this protein. We got this protein, baby. We're getting back on our protein. I haven't had my protein intake properly in like weeks, which is probably why I feel like shit. But yes, 9K. We hit 9K. This Pop Tart, so this is like an actual Pop Tart. It tastes so much better. I'm just like, I will take the 10 grams of protein over the 20 grams of protein in legendaries because I get my proteins in other ways, like the food I eat. And like, again, I just showed you I have 50 grams right here, which by the way, if I drink this, I'll be over 100 grams of protein easily. So this is like just like a small little snack thing. I like it though. The legendary one is too chalky. Like if you guys are like into like protein, trying to get your protein in, one thing you'll notice is a lot of protein. Like I'm not afraid because most foods has protein in it, but like protein based food, I guess, that are trying to imitate like normal food, like Pop Tarts or like waffles or cookies, because they're using a protein, typically whey. There's like a chalkiness to the texture. So like your brain's trying to tell you this is strawberry flavored, but like it's comparing it to the other strawberries you've had, and it tastes nothing like it. Like a lot of, if you want to make the gains, a lot of gains are made through suffering. You're gonna drink that shake, and it's gonna say it's banana, but it's not gonna taste like banana. It's gonna say it's a Pop Tart, but it's not a Pop Tart. It's gonna say it's a cookie, but it's not a cookie. But this actual Kellogg's Pop Tart protein style does taste so much better. New protein, new brownie recipe, low cal, high protein. I honestly, I'm at the point now where I don't even track like calories or anything like that because I'm really good at intuitive eating. Like I know when I'm eating like shit. I know I'm eating like shit, and I know how it's gonna affect me. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Give me that, sweet McDouble from McDonald's. I'll take it. But hello, hi everyone, hi everyone. Oh god. Also, since you guys are here, if you notice in the next couple of weeks or months, if some of my videos are sponsored, I'm gonna need you guys to get all the way off my back, okay? I'm doing like a tentative like trial with the company to see. I asked them if I could like go over their product first before I want to like fully commit. But it's it's probably coming down the pipeline. I'll start having a couple of sponsored videos. Which is weird because like I am not the person who I would ever think he'd be like, yeah, we've seen his content when he's calling people dumbasses and he's going after these grifters viciously. Yeah, let him support. Let him promote our product. But hey, I'm not the company. If that's how they want to spend their money, who am I? Although I will say one thing that I'm super, 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 super adamant about. I'm like, this shit's got to work. So like, if I'm working with a company and that shit's not working, I tell them straight up, like, I'm not gonna do it. Like I told you guys, like I did with that other company that was like supporting like Andy Panthers. Like I don't want to work with a company that does that. Like I will turn that shit down, you know. But I just want to make sure this is actually good because I don't want to hawk some shit. And it's like, mind you, this is just like it's supposed to be like to help like get like discounts on games. It's not anything like I'm not doing NordVPN. I don't have that cloud to get the NordVPN boost. Who knows? Maybe when I get to like 20K, they'll be like, hey, NordVPN. Because I do know one thing though. These companies are looking for smaller influencers that have a more dedicated fan base than larger influencers. Because typically, and what I've seen personally, is that when you're a really big account, we have like, let's say over like 400, 500,000 subscribers, or, you know, plus, right? There is a inverse relationship to the people who will like support you via those links, right? Because, and I think what people will do is like, hey, you are already making $100,000. People believe because your videos get like 500,000 views a video, you're making like money hand over fist. So they're less likely to use your links to get discounts. Whereas when people are at a lower level, like sub 100K, they're like, hey, this person needs it. We want to support them. So I think that's their mentality. But again, that's up to them if they want to actually work with me or not. I should never looked up Rebel Wolves on Twitter. Oh god, are they being like transphobic or some shit? Now I have to look. See, why'd you say that? Why did I say that? That's your exact mentality. Yeah, I mean, because that's the mentality I kind of have too, where I'm like as a creator, I know like you need the money, you do, but I also know as a person who views other YouTube creators, I'm like, I have never used a NordVPN link. I have never used a use my down. I've never used someone's subscription to Nebula. You know what I mean? I've never used any of that stuff. I've never seen. Oh, I'm not seeing anything from Rebel Wolves. Everything they posted is from like June 12th. There's nothing recent. Let me check the replies. I guess they only have 71 posts. Yeah, I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure people are trying to transfer their hatred for what's it called for CD Project Red to these guys, right? Like, don't go woke like CD Project Red did. Don't go woke like they did. Oh, what's the African tabletop RPG? Also, yeah, basically, yeah. I'm kind of good at calling this shit. Scary. Good to see you, Teachman. Thoughts on the machine price? Thank you, cartoon. Actually, I was going to talk about that too. I was going to talk about the Steam machine price. We are going to do a split between me finishing that demo because that's going to happen, and then me going over like news and what have you, right? But I guess since we brought up, we can start with this. I was right. Do you guys remember all those videos I made wherein I was like talking about how, you know, this administration is going to be bad for gamers and like their taxes will be bad for gamers and how the tariffs are bad for gamers and then how like the tariffs in conjunction now with the use of AI is bad for gamers. And then you remember how I was called like an alarmist for saying that shit? And then now you look at the Steam machine price and it's let's just which website will I utilize today? I feel like I use Kotaku too much. Why don't we go to Ars Technica? There we go. That's more of a tech. Zyru. Okay, I'll look it up later. That is more of a tech company. So let's just check out check this shit out, right? Valve Steam Machine ships June 29th, which is very soon, which is actually in 7 days from now. And then but whoa, wait a minute. Does that shit say $1,000? Does that shit say 1,049 USD? Hey, real quick, what is the game coming with this? Let's see what's coming with this. The Steam Machine's almost here. Valve chose possibly the worst time to announce new PC gaming hardware. True. The TV friendly game PC will go on sale for $1,049. The Steam Machine will come in two variations, one with 512 gigabyte storage and more expensive 2 terabytes. They'll retail one. Okay, straight up. For a base model, 512 gigabytes, making me pay over $1,000 is fucking insane. That is insane. That is an insane. I don't care how big of a Valve fan you are. I don't care if Gabe Newell pulled you out from a burning fire. Not even 1 terabyte, 512 gigabytes for a console that I don't even think comes with a controller. Right. And you'll be able to bundle the Steam controller with either for an additional $79. $79 for a controller? Bro. Bro. Nah. Nah. Both versions of Steam Machine will run a custom 6-core AMD Zen 4 CPU with a peak clock of 4.8 gigahertz. The integrated AMD are so this basically sounds like it runs on like a base like PS4 then, right? PS5 Pro is 900 with 2 terabytes. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you might as well just get a Pro. Because I think these specs are like base PS5. Maybe even a little bit worse, actually. It performs worse than the base PS5. There's no, you know what? You know who would have the answer right there? I know my guys at Digital Foundry. I know Digital Foundry has it. I know Digital Foundry. Yep. 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 Hold on. We're not gonna watch the whole video. We'll just see the specs and then the comparison. This power consumption, PC builds, GPUs, benchmarks, whatever. Okay, let's see the comparisons. Let's see. Okay, I think no one cares about this part. We can just do. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
So, as I said, it is about the percentage differentials between the GPUs tested.
I got the audio. I got the audio.
Issue. Oh, and one more thing to note before we crack on. Benchmarks are all tested with VSync disabled for full performance. However, SteamOS itself defaults to VSync on. The reference videos in the background of the benchmarks here were captured from Steam Machine at the same settings.
So this is running at 1440p though.
So the benchmark numbers represent full performance. The video represents what you'd actually see out of the box with Steam Machine. So with all of that in mind, here, the full-fat RX 7600 in Black Myth Wukong only manages to deliver an 11 percentage point uplift over the Steam Machine on match settings. I expected more, and you will see more elsewhere, but even so, the margin
is see Cyberpunk.
Here.
I think Cyberpunk will be pretty good. Cyberpunk will be a pretty good test.
Liberty now, specifically in the black market at the beginning of the expansion. This is a properly heavy GPU workout. We're using the equivalent to PlayStation 5's performance mode settings here, and we're running at native 1440p. And as expected, the RX 7600 moves ahead. I'm clocking a 17 percentage point increase for the desktop GPU over Valve's integrated alternative. Meanwhile, the RX 6600 offers about 90% of Steam Machine GPU performance. 9060 XT is a good 40 percentage points ahead in this test. Now remember,
let's see actual
is indeed the game running on Steam Machine. The overall average is 64 FPS at native 1440p on the equivalent.
Here we go. Here's the actual part we care about. PS5 versus
are possible. So bearing in mind the form factor, the use case, how does Steam Machine compare to a console? We got a wealth of information on PC titles running at PS5 equivalent settings, so let's get straight into it. And we'll start by revisiting the Crimson Desert CPU test on matched settings, and that includes using VSync as
so it does a little
bit.
Not
that this adds any particular cap to performance here on Steam Machine. We're well under 60 FPS. Returning to Bug Hill, Steam Machine performs significantly better when CPU limited. A 34.8 FPS average across the run on PS5 is improved to 41.2 FPS average on Steam Machine. So the Valve hardware has more legs, clearly. We're also CPU limited in the city of Baldur's Gate in Baldur's Gate 3, and here's where things get weird. Using the default native Linux build, which is what will install if you download it, we're only 11% faster on Steam Machine versus PlayStation 5. However, force the use of Proton instead and use the original Windows code working through the translation layer, and we get a 24% improvement in performance against PlayStation.
It's not necessarily a comparison between graphical fidelity. They're talking about frame timing and frame rates. So it's how stable. It's how stable it's running, not necessarily how like good it looks. We're at the point where any new technology that's going to come out is going to look relatively similar to other technologies because we've reached the point of diminishing returns in terms of graphical fidelity.
5. Larian did
besides like Nintendo
Baldur's Gate
games
3 for Steam Deck, significantly improving CPU-bound performance and stability. But I'm wondering if those optimizations were deck-specific to the detriment of other PC hardware. Put simply, if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Linux, on SteamOS, or on Steam Machine, I'd recommend switching to Proton here. It's an automatic 11% performance boost in this test versus the native Linux app. Graphics chasm, right?
What about
Alan Wake 2 isn't available on Steam, of course. I got it running by using the Heroic Launcher installed in Steam Machine's desktop mode. Yes, it is a Steam machine, but we've got to remember that it's not just a console-like experience. Under the
Let's do the comparisons here. Let's see what it says.
What's going on behind the scenes. Ultimately, though, we've got console-class performance here from Steam Machine in a unit that's a fraction of the size. It'll run modern games well, assuming you don't go crazy with ultra settings, especially on Unreal Engine 5 titles. And that you keep in mind that Valve only supplies 8 gigabytes of memory for the Steam Machine GPU.
Jesus,
yes, there are
only
optimizations there, and as work is ongoing there at Valve, I decided to test this in depth at another time. But reasonably, we can only expect these mitigations to go so far compared to a GPU with more RAM.
You know what
of course,
I think?
RDNA 4 and
I think that you have to wait on this.
Everything together.
I think you got to wait on this.
Revealed, the question was all about price and performance. Based on specs, we've arrived with a piece of hardware that pretty much runs as expected, and that's fine. Technology-wise, it doesn't shift the needle, but I love the package. The form factor is
because
beautiful, and it's
the price
together, virtually silent, basically.
It's AI's fault, to be honest, though.
Now, back at the reveal, there were hopes that Valve was going to attack the market with an aggressive price point, $500 even, bringing a PC-style PlayStation 5-level device to market with an appealing form factor that would work in the living room. But that was October 2025. In the meantime, Valve's made it clear it's not in the business of subsidizing hardware in the way that a console manufacturer might, and it clearly doesn't have the sourcing power of Microsoft or Sony. So in June 2026, we've got a machine that starts at $1,050, and it's going to be up to you to decide based on everything you've seen across this.
Okay, thank you, Digital Foundry. So here's my takeaway from all this, right? Here's my takeaway from all this. I never thought this shit was going to cost $500, $600, even $700 because I see that every time seriously mention global situation, I go, gee, what could have caused that? I mean, all I'm saying is there was a certain content creator who was very adamant about AI ruining everything. Many people did not heed what he said because only about
I don't like AI. I don't.
Only about 1.5 people saw it, but your boy was always anti-AI, especially in the space because it's going to increase the price of everything. If you have a RAM shortage, if a memory shortage, that's because of AI, right? So everything becomes more expensive. But in particular with Valve, I never once thought this shit was gonna be lower than $1,000 because even if the RAM shortages didn't happen, that we had no problem with memory, they would probably still charge you $1,000. They mentioned it in the video, but I think this gets missed a lot. Valve is not, it's not Sony, it's not Microsoft, it's not Nintendo. They can't subsidize the hardware. They don't have another revenue source or stream so that can like eat that cost, right? And Valve has never been the company to release products outside of like maybe a couple of games that are affordable. When like the Valve Index came out, it wasn't like that shit was comparable to a console. Like the Valve Index right now is still $1,000. like it's $1,000. Like even just the headset costs as much as like a Switch. But if you want the headset and the controllers, that's $749. If you want the whole VR kit, that's $1,000. They never, like, a replacement controller is $200. They were never going to release this shit at a reasonable price. I mean, look at the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was, how much did the Steam Deck cost? Steam Deck is like $800. The Steam Deck is a handheld and it's $800. Still, it's $800 for 500 gigabytes. Basically $1,000. You have to obviously factor in taxes and what have you. It's over $1,000 for 1 terabyte. This costs more than PS5 base. This costs more than Xbox One Series X. This costs more than Nintendo Switch, I think 1 and 2. This costs more than PS5 Pro. They were never going to give you a deal. And the reason why, I think it's twofold. First and foremost, like I said before, they're not in the business subsidizing. Valve is ultimately an enthusiast company. They don't need you to buy this because you guys are buying all this shit through Steam. So they're making like $1 billion off every sale. So they don't care about that. And so because of that, this is my second point, they are using their goodwill. Valve is going to get the Rockstar treatment. It's going to get the Grand Theft Auto 6 treatment, where people will justify the price because of the company. Regardless, if there's no exclusive to the Steam machine either, right? Like it's not like it's a traditional console where I'm buying a PS5 because I want to play God of War or Lawfare, or I want to play Wolverine, or I'm buying an Xbox because I want to play the new Gears of War game, or I'm buying Nintendo because I'm playing the new Zelda and Mario game. There is no system seller for Valve, because Valve's games are available on Steam. As long as you access Steam, you can play those games. They're not going to put a game on just the Steam machine and nowhere else. So already they have kind of, in a way, removed themselves from the competition. Every time they make a sale, and don't be fooled, people will buy this day one. It is going to sell out. It's pure profit for them. They're not selling at a loss. So every time someone buys it, and there will be a huge amount of people who buy it day one. We know early tech adopters exist, right? They're gonna make their money. Valve has no reason to try to be the good guy here, like at all. They have no reason. It's time to see the means of production. Like, and you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about this? And I might get shit from like the gamers online, but Gabe Newell, I think Gabe Newell owns a yacht. He owns a fleet of super yachts and research vessels that cost around $1 billion. Or at least the estimated to be $1 billion, right? Like, Gabe Newell is not some broke boy. $500 million for his centerpiece of his Armada. Like he has multiple yachts. People were coming from the Bungie guy for multiple cars. Gabe has multiple yachts. Gabe Newell is a rich man. But you will never see people being like, wow, this guy with obscene amount of wealth is releasing a product that costs an obscene amount for the day-to-day person, right? Like, he got a Forbes fucking article about him. It's a 363-foot yacht. Gabe, I love the Mighty Chiefs gift where he said Gabe Newell does nothing and wins. Yeah, here's the thing: people will be like, "My Lord Gaben," right? Every time you see like you see this meme, right? Like you see this image of how they deify him. I know it's a joke, but like I think some people kind of truly think this, where Gabe Newell can do no wrong. Like people fall in love with these corporations, and I always tell them stop doing that shit. Stop doing that shit. Gabe Newell could, like, if he was really for the people, he could sell this shit at fucking like $700. He could sell it for $7. He's not going to though, because he doesn't need to. And if I were him in his position, why would I do that shit either? Nope. He gets unlimited grace. Like he gets unlimited grace. Literally, Gabe Newell could do no wrong in the eyes of pretty much every gamer. Steam is the best storefront. Steam is the most ethical storefront. Steam is the best. And it's like, dog, Steam has issues. Steam's discoverability fucking sucks. And the amount of games they allow on Steam that are just asset flips are insane. But there's no real moderation on Steam. So people who put their product on Steam, unless they have a big publishing push, are just rolling the dice. And Steam, with its resources, could have a much more robust moderation and exploration and discovery system. They could. But they fucking don't, because they don't need to. If I go to my Steam page right now, and we just go on, like, here's popular new releases, right? Popular new releases. Bingle Bingle, Cozy Cleaner, Treasure Beach, NTR Idol, a hentai game, Think for Application, another, I guess, sexual content game, Swap Meet, Zenless Zone Zero, Mole, Warriors of Lust. Popular upcoming. I know of Impulse. I've never heard of Dear Boy. I've never heard of Train 45 or Succubus Successor. I have heard of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I've never heard of Mold Washer, Summer at Smile Cafe, Mistfall Hunter. Well, Mistfall Hunter actually has the demo. But a lot of upcoming games on Steam are games you've never heard of. And this isn't even tailored towards me. Like if we go to my, let's just see my discovery up right now. My discovery queue, okay. Gamble with friends. Don't know why this is relevant to me. I don't play multiplayer games. Okay, I might do that. Not Subnautica. Mecha Chameleon. Burgling Gnomes. Okay, besides James Bond and Adventures of Elliot, none of these fucking games speak to me. I don't play. It doesn't even say, like here, Gothic 1 makes sense because I've played Elden Ring and Witcher. But if you see the rest of them, none of them have been games I've played. Like this one, because I played Final Fantasy Rebirth and Exorcist 33, another RPG. That makes sense, right? But like, these aren't even similar. This one's Batman, so I play Batman games. But like, most of these aren't even similar to games I've actually played. I ignore most of them. Look, my personal calendar, a personalized for you list of new upcoming games. I have no interest in this and this and this and Impulse, because again, I don't play multiplayer games. Vampire Syndicate, never heard of, oh, because it's NSFW. Like, why is this made for me? I don't fucking know. Most of these games aren't even a genre that I even participate in. Like, of all these, I might play Echoes of Aincrad when it's on sale. But I have no interest in I have no interest in any of this shit. Now, based on the games I played all these games. Like, I've already played Deathloop. I've played The Messenger. I played Hi-Fi Rush. I own Have a Nice Death. The Evil Within 2 I've already played. I have this. But yeah, like, you get it, right? And they could do a much, much, much better job at having a more specific field. They could have a more like. I'm glad you're showing your Steam because I was wondering if I was getting these sort of suggestions, but I'm getting the same ones. Yeah, that's my whole point though, right? Like, you know how many games get released on Steam with dog shit discoverability? There are better ways that they could do stuff here. And they have, I'm saying, they have the resources to do it. But all of this to say, Gabe Newell will never get any criticism from the gaming side at all. Even though these people claim to be on the side of consumers, they will, for the most part, justify this. They will justify the consoles costing at base $1,000, well, $1,049 plus tax and controller. If you want a controller, that's additional $80. Is that common for Steam to have games like that? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Steam has, without question, the most slop, like, just out there. And with the addition of AI generated stuff, there's a reason why a lot of games I didn't play on Steam Next Fest, because there was so much AI slop on that shit. Like, there was so much AI slop. I'm like, I can't play this. And they don't even super enforce the whole gotta disclose it's AI. But it's Gabe Newell, but it's Steam, so they'll be fine with that. I do not fall in love with corporations. I may be fans of creators, like developers and teams, but like, I'm not beholden to any fucking corporation. That's why when people are like, oh, put this game on the Steam storefront so I can buy it, I'm like, dog, why are you so cucked by Steam? You can, it's okay if you guys have the Epic store. Guess what? It's legal. You can do that. Look, I also have Epic. I also have the storefront. It's not that big of a deal. You can get people, oh, but the game's only released on here and not released on Steam. Do you think it's like, that's the thing I hate the most too? Again, going people saying like Steam's like has a virtual monopoly, right? And I'm like, you're telling me you were a big fan of, let's say, oh, Alan Wake. Let's say you were an Alan Wake fucking fan. And the only reason you're not buying it is because it's not on your specific storefront. These storefronts are like 300 megabytes. They don't take that much space up. Like, I think it's idiotic and insane. People go, well, I can't play because it's not a Steam storefront. No, you don't get it. If it's not on Steam, I can't play. And it's like, dog, does the Epic Store have the same issue as Steam? No. Epic Store was slow to add certain features for sure. But like, I'm sorry, people were trying to say they didn't like the Epic Store because it didn't have the Steam cards. I'm like, get fucking real, dog. Be so for real. I've had a Steam account for literal decades. I have never used the Steam trading cards. Like, who cares? They have the ability to wish list. They have the ability to find games. Epic Games is a better deal for the developers for sure, because they get a better split. And you do have discoverability on here. And you know what the best part about this shit though too is, for me personally, they give you free shit from time to time, and sometimes the free games are cool, like Citizen Sleeper. You have top new releases, you still have sales, you have top sellers, you have games that are trending, new releases, top player rated. Like, it gives you options, and you can also just search the store. You can just type in the name of the fucking game you want to play, much like Steam. But people act like, no, if you use the Epic store, if you use Epic, well then you're asking for your game to fail because it's not available on Steam. Why is Steam the only storefront you use? Why are you so beholden to these companies? Like it's so crazy to me. Like, guess what? Do I give a shit if Xbox is losing money or if Sony is losing money or if Nintendo's losing money? No. You want to know why? Because I'm not invested in their company. I'm a consumer. I am for consumer rights. I am for consumer protection. I am for the consumer, which means even though a lot of people who don't like me don't think this is true, I am on the side of the gamers because the gamers are the consumer. But anytime I tell them to stop worshiping companies and publishers, everyone gets on my ass. It's like, well, yeah, EA's bad, but it's not. But Activision also bad. Oh, but Valve also bad. Do not love these corporations. Assume they're all bad. Okay? Assume they're all bad. Do not attach yourself to these corporations. They do not give a fuck about you. There's not a single corporation that cares about you, okay? Not Nintendo, not Disney, not Marvel, not Sony, not Valve, not Insomniac, not any of them. And they produce a lot of my favorite games, and I know for a fact they don't give a shit about me. So stop putting so much of yourself into these companies. That isn't to say that there are some companies that may be more trustworthy, right? Or more reliable. Like, yeah, I buy X products because I at least have a level of security with them, like they're gonna have a good product. But don't fall in love with that and take advantage of that. Don't take it for granted. Like, people love BioWare. BioWare could do no wrong. Not everyone fucking hates BioWare. That's why when people are talking about like, oh man, I only feel for your game devs because 9/10 them bullshit. Yeah, and guess what? Game devs are also consumers. Like, I don't give a fuck about Strauss Zelnick, right? CEO of Take-Two. I don't give a shit about him. But the developers working underneath him, working for Rockstar, the ones who want to make unions, I'm on their side. I'm on their side. I'm on the side of fucking Valve. I don't care about Gabe Newell. What the fuck? But just you watch. You're going to see a ton of gamers who swear to be like, we love the gamers, we're pro gamer. Watch them try to mount a defense for this. Just like the same people who were like, Grand Theft Auto should cost $100 actually. Rockstar should charge us more money. Yeah, you know what? They should bust those unions because these ungrateful developers want what? Rights and protections? No, give me my GTA now. That's all I care about. But then you're also like anti-consumer because you're like, well, I want it to cost, $40 to $45 more than the other game. And only they can do it though. They better defend this. I promise you, Regi, they are already defending it. I promise you, there's already defense. You're going to see the console fanboys laugh at this, right? Because it's all they do. Console fanboys are not worth talking about, to be completely honest. They're not capable of having actual, like, legitimate conversations about the gaming landscape. For the most part, there are some who, like, I don't agree with. Me and Colin Moriarty are never going to agree politically, but I have heard a lot of his takes. He does have a lot of somewhat sound takes when it comes to the gaming space and stuff like that too, right? But your average person on the internet who goes like Xbots, who say Sony are pony fanboys, they're not gonna they're gonna be like, the Steam machines can't do shit, whatever. But outside of those people, you're gonna see a lot of creators being like, well, I mean, it costs $1,000, but look at what you get. Because that's how this space operates. There are certain groups, certain companies, certain developers that you just can't go after. And not even like after like a malicious way, you just can't critique. Like as much as you can infinitely critique Ubisoft for their practices, you can't critique Rockstar. Rockstar is just as predatory as Ubisoft. That GTA Online does not make you permission to nickel and dime you, right? To charge you for bullshit prices for these like $5,000 GTA card sharks or whatever. If any other company not named Rockstar would do that, people would revolt. Straight up. But because it's Rockstar, they're like, well, you don't have to do it. You don't have to buy Ubisoft cosmetics either, yet you bitch and complain. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to. It's a lot of other games. But when Rockstar does it, no, it's different. Rockstar can take 20 years to release a game. That's fine, because they're Rockstar, and they put the bestest games out possible. But if Naughty Dog did that, oh my God. They could never do that, because they're a woke company. Oh my God, dude. Sometimes the online gaming space is hilarious to me, because it's people who are so tied to capitalism that they cannot imagine critiquing it. Like they can't fathom someone not liking their favorite company. It's crazy how quick gamers will show up. I know, it is. And then what's even crazier is they will call other people's shows who are a fan of products, not the company. Like they will call people like what's his face? Like Susie Sphere Hunter, right? I've seen people calling her a Capcom shill, and one of them thought she was responsible for like Code Veronica looking the way it looks. They didn't like the way it looks. And I'm like, are you guys dumb? Susie's just a fan of survival horror games. Like, yeah, like she plays lots of Capcom games, but like she's not a shill. She has her own opinions. She doesn't say these games are perfect, right? And she's not a reviewer. She just talks about her love of these games. But then you'll see people who are like, she's a shill. But then if I say, you know what, Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't see the big hype because I don't think it's going to change gaming forever or even really change from the established formula. Suddenly I'm called like all the names in the world. How dare you not think Rockstar Games is going to save gaming? It won't. But that's another thing. These people put these unrealistic expectations on these companies and games to be like, no, every other game is woke garbage, okay? Every game from the West is woke and garbage, and we want the Western AAA industry to fail. But Rockstar can charge $100 for a game because that's going to save gaming. And I'm like, we're talking about how the Steam machine's over $1,000. Games are getting more expensive because parts are getting more expensive because of AI creating all these shortages. People's material conditions are getting worse, not better. People are having to decide between like rent and food. And you think charging $100 for a non-necessity is going to be a net positive? That's insane to me. That's insane to me. Yes, and so is Maximilian Dood. He's a big Capcom guy, big Final Fantasy guy. He has critiques too. It's like, because of influencer culture, people think no one's a fan of anything anymore. And it's just, you're doing this for money. All of these influencers in the gaming space who you've seen come up all started because they loved the gaming and they loved a particular genre. Like, again, I have just now 9,000 subscribers. Again, clap it up, 9K subscribers. But imagine like next month or next year, I have like 9 million. Am I now suddenly a shill? Am I now not a real fan of the things I'm talking about? Like, that's the thing too. Like, yeah, you can spot people who are authentic. It's simple. It's like okay, perfect example. When RGG Studios released, I believe it was Like a Dragon like 2. I know Like a Dragon is the name of Yakuza in Japan, but look, come on, we're Americans. Are American here, right? When they released like the Like a Dragon like 2 or some shit, before the pirate one, they had Asmongold as one of the creators, the streamers, to promote the game. Asmongold has talked shit about Yakuza games, was not a big Yakuza person. I don't think he's even played him on stream besides like the game he was forced to play and like one other time. Like obviously not someone who's like, I'm a huge Yakuza fan. Yes, that's easy to spot. That's a fake fan. That's a fake. This is like, this was for money, right? But like if Square Enix was like, hey, Maximilian, here's our copy of Final Fantasy Revelations. We want you to be one of the first people. Infinite Wealth, thank you. We want you to be one of the first people to debut the gameplay for Final Fantasy Revelations, the first part of the game. He's not a shill. You've seen him. You've seen his love of that series. You've seen his love for fighting games. So with Street Fighter, if SNK came to him, Capcom obviously comes to him. But like if a fighting game came to him, was like, hey, we want you to promote this because you are, I believe he was like a pro at one point too, but you're obviously big in the fighting game community. You love fighting games, of talking about and playing them. Here's our new fighting game. That's not someone being a shill. Like it's so weird to me. Like we've just lost the ability to engage with anything with real sincerity. And I miss that, honestly. I miss that. Like, I'm a fan of video games. A pro like DSP. Don't bring him down to DSP's level. But like, I love video games. I would like if they were like, hey, we want to fly you out to this convention, I'm there. It's a gaming convention, I'm there. Because that's what I love. I love games. So if people are going to pay for me to come play or to come visit, of course I'm going to go. Right? I'm not a reviewer. Because I understand people think like, you know, if you go out, you fly you out and this and that, then you're paid to say nice things about it. And I'm like, there has to be a level where you can understand that these are people's jobs. This is not my job, right? But these are people's jobs. They can't pay for everything. And like, yes, again, if Rockstar was like, hey, TTB, we want to fly you out to get your hands on GTA 6, right? And then I give my impressions on it. You're like, oh, well, you're bought and paid for. It's like, dog, how else was I supposed to get access to GTA 6? They invited me to come play it. And I'm telling you, this is my honest opinion. Like, oh, no, who's just a shill? It's like, okay, so the only way it's valid is if you buy it. Why? What if I'm such a huge shill for this company that I will spend $2,000 on GTA 6 and give it a glowing review if they pay for it or not? Like, how come that's never considered? It's only you have an authentic opinion as if you aren't given something. I've gotten free movie tickets to movies that I've seen that I've hated. I've paid for movies that I've walked out on. Actually, I haven't one time, but I paid for it. I paid for films that I did not end up enjoying. My opinions aren't swayed. I think for a lot of people too, unless they're like politicians, are getting paid an extreme amount of money, which these influencers are not. But like my opinions aren't going to be swayed because I was flown out to a convention and I got to cover this game. And I think we are just losing that ability because YouTube and influence culture as a whole, it relies a lot on parasociality, that people are not understanding just the basics of how things function. Like, and I'm loath to say this, but influencers are the new game journals, right? In the sense that they are being flown out to these locations, these industry parties, all these things inside you. When I went to Summer's Game Fest last year, the big influencers, the celebrities, got to go into the special influencer celebrity spot and get a bunch of hands-on for games. I didn't get to do that, and I paid to go play that. I paid for that ticket, right? But then it's like, of course they get to do that because their audiences are bigger than my audience. So if they talk about it, they can build up hype around it. It's marketing. this might be controversial. I think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube. You think that's controversial to say on this channel? You think that's a hot take on my channel? Honestly, it's nice to think that. I've been saying that shit. Wouldn't that make Tectone a shill for Genshin Impact given how much money he put into his asking? I mean, yeah. But like, do you think Tectone knows anything about quality? But no, Goliath, I've talked about Mr. Beast. I think he's been a net negative on YouTube. Mr. Beast is the personification of someone who is beholden, a slave to an algorithm. He's not creative at all. He's not creative. He's not interesting. But because he has, I've mentioned this so many times, and I will say this many more times. The entire appeal to Mr. Beast is the illusion that by subscribing to him because he's done money giveaways in the past, or by being in his orbit, that you will get wealth. He is no different in that context from Elon Musk. You have people who have an insane amount of wealth, who have used that wealth to get them into places and have opportunities that other people haven't gotten, but they themselves are not creative enough or engaging enough to be the sole reason they've gotten that wealth. You know what I mean? Like Elon Musk has that wealth because he's had a series of events that worked out for him due to no action on his own. In fact, in spite of him. He got fired from what became PayPal, but because of the way his shit was structured, he got like $150 million parachute and then got to put that into Tesla and just bought his way into the company. He just buys his way into companies, and most of his stocks are inflated because of government subsidies and like Tesla's was doing stuff with the carbon tax, and how they were basically selling their tax to other companies that overinflate the value of their shares. And like Mr. Beast is just someone who chases algorithms. That's it. Like he's not. And I understand how this makes me look. I have no I'm not under any sort of illusion that I don't come up as like a jealous hater. I can tell you guys I'm not at all, but no one's gonna believe that. But it's true, I'm not jealous. I don't envy people who I think are devoid of creativity. I'm more envious of someone like Crimes New Roman who's able to like sit down and do in-depth video essays. I'm more jealous of someone like legitimately like Dead Domain or Jacob Geller, like those people who can sit down and do in-depth retrospectives. Like most of the channels I watch, I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. But Mr. Beast, no. Like if you want to go for even harder take, I think if Mr. Beast had just regular people's money, no one would watch his videos because he has no idea how to do things that actually matter, and his shit is just spectacle. That's why Mr. Beast games is awful. He only knows spectacle. He doesn't understand people like on a human level. He doesn't get that a game show like that requires a human connection for the audience to give a shit about who wins. Like here, let's go to the channel. We have such amazing videos like 50 YouTube legends fight for a minute. I think this is where Philly D won. 7 days stranded in the Arctic. Survive 30 days on the island to X. Win $250,000. I stranded 100 people in the wilderness for $250,000. Last leave the grocery store wins $250,000. 50 streamers fight for $1 million. That's similar to this one right here. Trapped on an island. Survive 30 days. I built 10 schools around the world. Ages 1 through 100 raised for $250,000. One versus like all of this, all of his content fully hinges on the fact that he has a lot of money to use for this shit. And people, because they have been conditioned by capitalism to worship the rich, will go on the offense for him. Will go on the offensive for him. They'll be like, oh, well, he has to take all that. He needs all that money so they can make these videos. Yes. What would YouTube be without a video about, I don't know, putting poor people in situations in which they need to compete in order to have some sort of stability. Like, yeah, we could really use that. Yeah, we really need to see him be a philanthropist instead of him just doing that shit without needing to get paid for it. Oh, but he needs the money from this in order to make the. No, he doesn't. That's it. All of Mr. Beast's contents could be like summarized in like 5 genres of videos: stranded somewhere for money, trapping some people for money, making people fight for money. Sometimes I'm doing philanthropy because I have lots of money. And then the rare video of like, hi, I'm Mr. Beast and I'm actually participating in this video in a significant way and not just having other famous people do shit for me. That's it. Like that's it. And it's the most, this isn't even his face. And it's the most like, you know what the real thing that gets me too? I'm going on one day today. The real thing about Matrix that gets me is none of his ideas are original. And I understand everything's been done under the sun, right? But his big ideas are like, what if we played tag in an abandoned a mall? What if you played hide and seek on this island? What if we did Squid Game? Okay, but what if we did Squid Games again, but I did on Amazon? What if we did Wipeout? Like it's and there's no unique twist on it. There's no unique twist on it. It's just, what if we did these things that already existed? Like that's it. It's what if we did this thing that existed? I survived 50 hours in Antarctica. And it's like, what is the purpose of that? Last to take hand off, jet keeps it. How is that intriguing to anybody? This is IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed has wealth. Most of these people in the village have wealth. So they're getting a jet. Or let's say you were a regular person. He gave me a jet. Cool. I'm a regular person. I cannot utilize this. I cannot afford to keep a jet. Like it's just this. And this is what legitimately to me ruined YouTube way more than like T-Series. You have a fucking human algorithm right here. And like, wasn't even his earlier videos was just like, I'm gonna read the dictionary, I'm gonna count to like 1,000,000. It's like these are just fucking boring ideas. Like he's always been seeking the clout and attention. He has nothing in his, no bone in his body that's like, you know what? That's a lie. There's one video. There, is that Karl Anthony Towns? No. There's one video of his that I was like, oh man, that's actually kind of interesting. That's actually kind of, like he started as a Minecraft YouTuber. God, he should have just stayed there. Imagine the world of Mr. Beast is just doing fucking Minecraft videos. If this video gets 1,000,000 views, yeah, he was kind of always stuck on shit. There was one video that he did. I think it was like running a marathon in like big ass shoes or heels. I was like, you know what? It's kind of jackassy, but like in a PG way. What is Crohn's disease? Like, hold on.
What's up, guys? Hopefully you're having a nice day. Before I move on to the topic, I just got to mention something real quick. Someone's mowing our lawn right now, so you might hear a lawnmower. Sorry about that. Kind of doing something later, so I can't really do this video later. So I'm pretty sure you understand. But I just wanted to talk about what Crohn's disease is, and the reason I wanted to do a video on it is because every week thousands of people are diagnosed with it, and hundreds of those people are teens. And I know a lot of people search what is Crohn's disease on Google, on YouTube, and the stuff that pops up, there's
What?
nothing really from a teenager standpoint.
Healthcare?
Another thing is healthcare, anything medical related is always really overpriced. So I'm actually going to have to get a job with a big corporation or anything with good medical insurance because I'm not going to be able to pay for this on my own. That's something that a lot of people that I should have mentioned earlier with Crohn's have to struggle with is the medical expensive.
Like, where was this person? Where was this Mr. Beast? Who was knocking on the door of understanding that, damn, I have to pay so much money for medical expenses. I wonder what's the case. Where's this Mr. Beast? Why didn't this version of him get the money and go like, hey, isn't it strange that we have entire systems in place in which we have to have an exorbitant amount of money just to have our day-to-day needs met? Isn't it strange I live in the richest country in the planet in history and we still have to pay for medical procedures or pay an arm and a leg for a procedure that would cost you way, 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 way less different country? Where is this, Mr. Beast?
Expenses. It's really, really, really expensive. And if you don't have good medical insurance, I have no idea how you'd be able to afford it. I'm definitely going to have to get a job based on their medical insurance just so I can
I mean, okay, he's wrong about this one, right?
pay for all my stuff that I have to with Crohn's. But that's pretty much everything dealing with Crohn's. I guess I could tell you a little bit about the medical sides of things, like treatments. I'm currently on Remicade, as I already stated. So I go in every 5 weeks. They put a needle in my arm, and then I sit there for 3 hours as medicine's pumped into my veins. And then I feel good, and it slowly wears off. It's like winding a clock. And then after 5 weeks, I start to feel bad again.
He did 2 videos on Crohn's disease. Where is this Mr. Beast? And I know people are going to say, oh, but he does charity stuff. Yeah, but his shit is like, I'm going to dig a well, and then I'm also going to, invest in like BlackRock. Like, he's not like, oh. What happened? What happened? Like, what happened? I'm not even you guys, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I wish this version of Mr. Beast had 500 more subscribers. I do. I wish this version of Mr. Beast. Look at him. He's talking about modern art. He's talking about. Remember when COD was fun? Why I changed my channel name? This is the kind of content I would have watched. As someone who doesn't give a shit about Call of Duty, Markiplier is a great man. The top 10 richest game. Okay, this movie started being money obsessed. This movie started getting a little bit too money obsessed for my liking. But like, even still, like, he shifted content pretty heavily here. But the earlier Mr. Beast, I would have been like, yes, dude. Am I Ian from Smosh? Still using Call of Duty footage. Like, he was ahead of the game. He was ahead of the game. Ten years ago, he had 5,000 subscribers.
I hope when you see this, I actually have 5,000 subscribers. But anyways, I wanted to dedicate this video to someone I know who does YouTube himself and actually had a big part in my channel. He's kind of the reason I started playing Call of Duty back in 6th grade, and I'm about to be a senior. Back in 6th grade, we...
Oh, Jesus Christ. What a time ago. But like, this is why I like to go through like big creators' older stuff to see if they like switched up. And Mr. Beast obviously did. But he had one video where I was like, where he was just sitting there and he's like, okay, I'm gonna look at him doing like skits and shit. Like, god damn. I'm getting nostalgic for a creator I never watched. I feel like he needs a Interstellar moment where he gets into the Tesseract and just looks at himself. Watching its everyday bro for 10 hours straight, reading the longest English word. Like, yeah, I think this is when he got, like 9 years ago is when he got like, I'm just gonna fucking do everything. saying Logan Paul 100,000 times. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is like devoid of, but this is when you start to see my content kind of is devoid of any sort of meaning and feeling, and I'm just giving money out. Just giving money. I'm just giving out money. Money. And he bought, and this is where, I think this is where it started. I bought a car only using pennies. I bought Snickers. I bought then it just started becoming money. Then look, 8 years ago, we get the first Mr. Beast thumbnail. We get the birth of Mr. Beast. And then it just becomes spending 24 hours straight underwater challenge. That's not real. But then it's like, then you start to see like it kind of becomes like, okay, I spent 24 hours in straight slime. Lastly went to $10,000. So the idea has never changed. It's just the price did. I bought every billboard in the city for this. Like, this is now no longer talking about, hey, Medicare is bad. This is no longer talking about, wait, what the fuck? Didn't he already do this? Slime Pit, and then like, damn, dog. He was already running out of ideas 7 years ago. But yeah, you guys, you get it. Like, once he started making an obscene amount of money, it just became, what if we just do money all the time? What if we just do money all the time? That's it. That's my channel. What if I just do money all the time? And all of my content is just expensive things. I gotta spend 100,000. You don't understand, you guys. You don't get it. You don't get my genius. I needed to go to an island and have people with their exes so they can win $250,000. You don't understand. I needed to spend $6 million on this so these people can win $250,000. Even though, at this point, by just playing the numbers at 500 million subscribers, by just uploading, if Mr. Beast uploaded a video like this, like me, and just is talking to the camera, he would at least get 150 to 200 million views easy without having to spend $6 million on the video. Because look at his most recent video, right? I don't know how we got this, but this is why it's live, baby. We'll look at his most recent video.
I've gathered 50 YouTube legends, and whoever leaves this group last wins $1 million for their subscribers.
These creators built YouTube into what it is today. They're responsible for some of the most viral videos in history, and they're all going head-to-head for the first time ever to win $1 million for their subscribers.
It's like a reunion. Some of these people I haven't seen for over a decade.
These are like the Speed and Kai Cenats, but of like 10 years ago.
At least 10 years
15 years ago. If you were to grab my computer when I was 17 and look at all the channels I subscribed to, it's basically this cute. When I was a small YouTuber, I tried to join FaZe and you didn't let me in.
I think we fumbled the bag there.
Can I join now? At one point, you were the 5th most subscribed to channel on
Epic meal. This guy fucking sucks, by the way. Super Zionist right here. Absolutely terrible person. I had interaction with him on Twitter, which was him coming from me. Piece of shit.
all of YouTube.
Yeah, I'm probably the biggest fall off in this whole box.
Maybe ever.
I think ever.
Fred here was the first channel to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
And it's like, okay, do you need to make this video? No, but you don't need to make any video, right? But how much do you think it cost him to rent out this warehouse to have all these props, all these cameras, like all this shit? And then you look at someone like Markiplier, where he's like He's made more money than he can ever spend, and the most he spends is when he makes his own film. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, he became a film director. Have I seen the Folding Ideas video of Mr. Beast? Oh, you guys know I have. I've seen the Folding Ideas. I've seen the Big Joel videos. But like, this is what I'm talking about. Is that Ali A? Yes. And it's like, do you really need to spend, like, do you really need to,
I just bought this grocery store and I have a big surprise for everyone.
like, do you need to do this? Is what I'm saying. And like, no, I fully, like Markiplier's live. Know that when I'm saying this, I understand, like I said, there is no video that's necessary, right? We're creative. We want to push it out there in the universe, and maybe people like it, maybe they don't. But understanding that, you bought out a grocery store just to see if people can stay there the longest, then give them money. Like, you spent more on this grocery store, on this video, than the value you gave away. That is not good business sense. You don't also have to do this. Why not just give away the $250K and do like a tournament? Like, hey, like, you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to make these fucking videos. But he thinks he has to because he only thinks in terms of spectacle. Because I think deep down, Mr. Beast knows if there wasn't spectacle, if he wasn't able to use his massive wealth to get celebrities to go into his videos, which by the way, notice how the 30 celebrities video only got 3 million more than the ones with random people, and got less than one versus $1 billion future tech. Like, this got the same amount as this one with nobodies. Because his audience don't give a shit about these celebrities, because his audience, for the most part, probably doesn't know these celebrities in the front. You think if Mr. Beast's audience knows, they might know Kevin Hart. They have no idea who Paris Hilton is. They don't know who Howie Mandel is. I see Josh Peck in the background. I see Steve-O. His child audience does not know these people. Like, it's such like a, but again, this is a person who was right place, right time. Because I think what happened was he got donated, like, he gave him money for like a charity, and that just popped up on YouTube. That's what he's just been doing ever since. I believe that's how it started. But this is it. And obviously he gets hundreds of millions of views because his child audience. Because the adults aren't watching this shit, right? People his age aren't watching this shit. It's kids. That's why the editing is like this. That's why the topic's always like shit kids will enjoy. I survived 50 hours in a maximum security prison. No, you didn't. Like, that's the thing too. Like, it's like shit like this, right?
This is a real prison, and me and the boys are gonna try to survive the next 50 hours locked up here.
Get in here. Chance against the wall.
There against the wall.
I'm just gonna do what he says.
I am officially locked in prison with Nolan. How's it going? Not good. Basically, me, Nolan, and all my other friends agreed to spend 50 hours in prison. How's it going, boys?
I feel right at home.
Just so we're clear, we are going to be treated exactly like inmates, okay? We're going to be eating real prison food. We're going to have to mop and clean the prison and all around subjected to the mental warfare that is being a prisoner. I hope you guys are ready. First thoughts on my brand new bed? It's very uncomfortable. These sheets...
And I will say something. I hate content like this in general. I think people trying to be like, I put myself in this situation where I'm a prisoner for da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It sucks. The only time I've ever seen it done well was an old Vsauce video in which, hello, Vsauce, Michael here, was trying to show the mental toll it takes to be locked up specifically in isolation. But this shit was like, hey, you guys, I survived 50 hours in a maximum security prison. That is not a maximum security prison. I want to tell you guys a little something. My degree was in criminal justice, so I visited prisons. I've seen max prisons. This is not a maximum security prison. Notice how he does not need to interact with other prisoners? Yeah, exactly my point. He's not even getting the full experience. He's not doing like scared, you know, he's not doing like locked up 50 hours. Him and his friends are in a completely isolated wing of a prison. If that's even the prison, it might be a set they got, which now I think about it, I'm pretty confident this is a set they built. And to be like, yes, we are prisoners, and look at the experience we're going through. And it's like, what is this? Like what is the purpose of this? What is the fucking enjoyment of this? Watch, like, that's another thing too. It's like, what is the joy of this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's enough of me talking Mr. Beast. I want a tirade about Mr. Beast. But you can see my dislike for creators like that is not limited to just like grifters. It's super annoying. It's super annoying to me in general, where people are so cucked by capitalism that they can't possibly critique anything. And if you are critiqued, it's because that person's jealous. And not just because maybe you're doing some shit that's actually awful. Like, maybe you're actually doing something that sucks. And like, I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh no, you doing things you want to get attention and views. Yeah, we at some point we all want to get attention and views. That's why we put our content on the internet. Even if we're doing it because we're passionate, we still want people to see it. That's not a secret. Like, yeah, duh. When I put out content, I like when people see and comment. That's fun for me. I enjoy that. Now, I don't need like a billion people to do it because that will never happen. But yeah, I still like when I see like, oh, a lot of my audience is enjoying this, or this is getting a bigger audience. I understand that. But that all being said and understood, I am not beholden to an algorithm. Also, what happened to I forgot her name. But his close friend, gone. But one thing I will say, I hated when rich people act like they weren't lucky and go like, oh, you know, just like you guys don't work hard enough. Like, if I was given a new channel today, I could get 10 million subscribers in a month. Like, no, you fucking couldn't, dog. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. Because you, in that time span, didn't even get 10 million viewers or subscribers. Like, I hate when people ask rich people for advice. Like, unless they're an expert in the field, like, oh, you're asking me for advice on like being tall or like growing a beard or like, you know, something that's a skill set. The advice is keep at it and hopefully you get lucky break. That's it. You can't coach someone to get 1 million subscribers or 1 million views. Because you are doing something that's completely dependent on the whims of an audience. All you can control is your quality and your frequency. That is it. There are some videos you're going to put out that are going to fucking tank, that you put a lot of time in. There's some videos you put out that you are like, this was fucking a last minute 3 a.m. idea. and that got you 10 million viewers. You're never going to know which like, okay, here's a channel that I want to put you guys on. Okay. I've been subscribed for a bit now. His channel's name is Missing Mo. He's a German video essayist, and I love his shit. If you go to his channel, as you can see, I've been going through his backlog. I've been going through his videos. Not that many, right? His first upload was like 2 years ago. He has 22,000 subscribers. He put up a video 2 years ago, 8.2K. Not bad. 2 months ago, 39,000. 6 months ago, over 300,000 views. 10 months ago, over 800,000 views. And then a year ago, 58K. If you watch all of his videos, his editing style, his humor, his delivery has been solid and consistent through all of them. But sometimes that only gets you 3,000 views. Sometimes that only gets you 4,000 views. Sometimes that gets you 800,000 views. You just have to keep at it. You just have to keep, that's it. That's the only advice anyone should try to give you in these kinds of spaces. You have to just keep at it. That's it. There are creators on this platform that have millions of subscribers. Look, let's go to Markiplier. He's doing right now, right? Markiplier has 38 million subscribers. And yes, he pretty much will always crack a million, except for, I mean, look at Subnautica. 507,000 subscribers, or viewers, right? Not a million, not a million, not a million. This is not a super popular series for him, clearly. The biggest he's got is 1.1 million. But he's Markiplier. He's getting 1 million, 1 to 3 million, well, mostly 1 million, 2 million views. This one got 5 million, though. This one got 600,000 after a month. 600,000 for a channel with 38 million is not, like, great. We can admit that, right? But 800,000, I would fucking kill for these numbers. But he's doing it, you're right, he's doing it for love of the game, but also, this is how he's been operating for literally years. Like, he will play games that aren't algorithmically friendly. He obviously has a huge audience enough where he can do that, but even before then, he was doing that shit. Like, if you go to his old videos, like, he was doing reaction compilation videos. This video still has only 900,000 views after 14 years. Most of the time when you watch older people's videos, they go through their older stuff and they have, like, depending on their audience size, all to get a huge bump. This still has 500,000 views. 300,000 views. Like, there's lots of videos on the channel. And guess what? I know for a fact, 14 years ago, Penumbra was not popping on YouTube. I know that for a fact. Penumbra. Amnesia was popping on YouTube. Look at the number disparity, right? Penumbra, he got one video. Oh, he got he got a couple videos over 100,000. But then as the series went on, less and less and less and less and less. But he still played the whole series. Nightmare House, never heard of it. Played the whole series. Nothing cracked 1 million. Like, this is to prove that you have to be the one who's consistent. You have to know why you're doing this and keep doing it. It can't just be you're chasing algorithms. It can't just be your... I have a sticker? Shall not speak. I didn't even know that was even a function I had. But yeah, like, he has, I mean, I'm not going through his whole channel. You get the point. He has a lot of videos that he should have abandoned in order to maximize the algorithm. I know the algorithm was way different back then too. But he was consistent. He stayed the course. But Markiplier can't teach you how to get 38 million subscribers. He can't teach you how to get 1 million views almost every video. He can't. Because also, he's not getting that, but because that's not possible. This is dependent on your audience. He has, I say as my audience grows by 1, thank you for subscribing. But he has a large audience. But not everyone in his audience is going to like the content he puts out. Some people are going to be like, I love Subnautica. Some people are going to be like, I can't stand Subnautica. Some people are going to be like, oh, I love it when he does compilations with Lixian, I think his name's his producer or his editor. Some people love when he does IQ tests. Some people hate his IQ tests. Like that's just what's going to happen. The only thing you can do is be consistent and upload. That's it. Or hell, take it from me. When I started being consistent with my content, when I started uploading at a pretty frequent clip, my channel started growing tremendously. That's it. Like, besides when I go on trips on vacation, I don't really have weeks of like empty stuff. Like just this week alone, these last 7 days, I put out a video pretty frequently. 7 days ago, 5 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 4 days ago, 22 hours ago, 11 hours ago. This video right here, Wolverine, was I was annoyed and I uploaded it late at night. This was supposed to be the actual video I upload for the first week, but whatever. We are uploading like crazy, but it's because A, I love doing this, and B, I need to be consistent. If I want to see any sort of growth, I have to be consistent. I have to like what I want to do, and I can't be beholden to algorithms, because algorithm growth to me is not real growth. Because then you know what happens? You end up like those grifter channels that will chase every hot story, but then their views are dog shit. There's no actual community. There's no one who actually cares, right? And I'd rather have a smaller group of people actually give a shit than a large group of people who are just like, I clicked on you because you were talking about God of War Lawfare, and that was when it was hot. I don't want that. Because then you end up like people like this, who have 30,000 subscribers and have like this. Like, I'm fairly confident if I had 30K subscribers, going off of how you guys operate and how I operate, because we're so great here, I'd probably get like at least 12K on the video. I wouldn't get literally hundreds of views. Okay, Shell, I'm actually loving this. Please keep doing this. Please only respond to me in sticker. But yeah, like this is, and I'm not just randomly picking on this account, mind you. Well, I am, but not I am picking on, but not randomly. I'm picking on because you guys know I go on the hell site. You know that. Don't act surprised. And while I was on the hell site, those thumbs look bad. Yeah, they're all AI bullshit. Which is why I know my thumbs look better. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if these stickers are defaults or are part of Streamlabs, because I have never done stickers, but I think this is so cute and hilarious. But the reason why I mentioned Tactical Templar is because if I can, here we go. It's because of this. Let me rant for a moment. This is the most selfish, pathetic, narcissistic, and downright despicable attitude I've ever heard. Your ancestors struggled and fought for your right to exist, and how do you repay them? By ending your line because pregnancy icky? Of all the stupid, asinine, ridiculously cowardly, and pathetic things, I hate these fucking degenerates so much, I swear. While the anti-natalist freaks and degenerates are mauling at the truth of my extremely insightful and brilliant post, you should all check this out. Over 250,000 white British girls were raped and groomed by mostly Pakistani Muslim men. This is not true. And let's see how many people actually checked it out. 1,000. Good job, guy. For an account with over 30. That never happened, right? And so I wrote, he's saying this because he needs someone to want to have kids with him. I didn't ratio this guy, did I? No, not yet. And then he goes, aren't you the same R word that blamed a random attack on Asmongold? And I was like, noticing that you didn't deny my statement. Like, yeah. And then, of course, slurs, right? But, like, that's why I picked on him just now, by the way. He was in the petty portion of my brain today. But also, I'm not really joking when I said this. In fact, I'm quite serious. Ant debated this guy on stream once. Ant debated him on stream. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way he debated him. There's not a debate. But he was like, he's mad that a woman's gonna get pregnant. Oh, I gotta talk to Ant about this. I need to talk to him about this because holy shit. But like, he's not alone in this sentiment. He's not alone in this sentiment. And that's something that I kind of wanted to, like, I was thinking about talking about today, and I was like, when will I have the opportunity to? And then I realized I have free will. I can do what I want. Do you guys remember that video I put out? Oh, at this point, a couple of months ago, where I was talking about how white supremacy is ruining everything. Like how white supremacy ruined gaming and everything else. If you don't, real quick. I feel like you guys remember because you're my audience. But yeah, I posted it December 24th. Why was I posting this on Christmas Eve? Why did I post about white supremacy on Christmas Eve? What is my life? But yeah, I posted this December 24th last year. Oh, wow. Actually, a lot of people saw this. Look at my hair you could tell it was a while ago because my hair growth. See, now my hair just goes down. It doesn't even grow out anymore. It's too heavy to grow out. But yeah, okay, 20K people. Look out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. So in this video, I mentioned a lot of things that people don't really consider part of white supremacy. But I'm not sure if I mentioned this aspect of it. We can go away now. I can just go in my big face. This aspect of it is you have these people who are now suddenly pro-natalist, but only insofar as white women getting pregnant by white men, because they want to replace, put up replacement numbers so they don't become a minority, which is part of the Great Replacement theory, right? So when you see them talking about women not giving birth and like why abortion's bad, they're only saying it's bad because that means that's one less white child to fight for their race. It's 100% white supremacy. They don't actually care about birth rates because you don't see them doing this for like black women or Latina women or like Asian women or anything like that. It's just for the white race. It's pure white supremacist talk. A lot of what happens in this space is a byproduct or a direct cause from white supremacy. It is intentional. You will see them argue about people who are putting out messages, right? Like, oh, this is woke, it's this, and that. All of that is because they have a fear. And that fear is them being the minority. Because if they are the minority, I said minority first, but I'm saying it minority. If they are the minority, they know what that means. Like, they like to pretend that everyone has equal rights. You guys are just complaining. You guys want more rights, actually. But then you realize that, right? When they say shit like black people get DEI rights and they get to get jobs just for being a minority. Well, then wouldn't you want to become the minority class in this country? If what you're saying is minorities get special treatment, and that means we can show up to a job and we're getting the job because of DEI and stuff, why wouldn't you then just be like, you know what? Why don't we be a minority of this country? It seems to be great. They get to get free money. Somalians get free housing. Black people get to just live off the government forever. You have Mexicans get to speak their own language and have their own parts of town. And that sounds great. Why don't we do that? It's because they know. They know because they've been the dominating class, are part of the dominating class for forever. They know that any minority in this country gets treated 1,000 times worse than they do. And they don't want to deal with that. So anytime you hear them talk, just know that they have implicitly told you that, yes, I am aware that your group faces social injustices. And by extension, I benefit from said social injustice. I have protections and freedoms that will never be questioned due to my skin color. You will never have a referendum about what has the white community done for us lately. You'll never see straight white guys being oppressed by the government for the sake of being straight and white, right? You'll never see that. You'll never have these social situations in which, oh man, I was walking across the street as a white guy. These black people ran away from me because you would never see that. There's no such thing as a phantom white assailant. There's none of that shit, right? Doubly so if they're like their sexuality is minority, like they're like queer, or if they're like a trans person, right? But they know the treatment those groups get because they are part of the group that does that to them. They are part of the oppressive group, which is why they take anything as a loss of their power. Anything. If they see more black people in comic books, they take that as they're sending an agenda. If there are more women in comic books, they take that as they're trying to get rid of straight, white, powerful men. And I'm specifically talking about comic books now because they're doing this to Supergirl. They are doing this to Supergirl. They have already put out a campaign against her that Millie Alcock is this ugly, man-hating woman because she said that men were attacking her for her looks. Because they were and still are. But because she's not docile, she's not a white woman who knows her place, she is now the new Brie Larson. That's why you have even, and the thing is too, this is why I would say white supremacy, not like white men supremacy, because this is even being done by women. Sydney Watson, right? Sydney Watson had the video out about Supergirl, about specifically 2 videos about her. Look at this shit. I made Supergirl fans mad. I'm so tired of a man-hating actresses. Let's see what she says, actually.
I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all. I played a few characters that might have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends.
These people really can't help themselves when it comes to being insufferable.
That makes her insufferable, by the way. Just stating that the cool thing about this movie is that it's not centered around a man or love at all, or at least romantic love. Isn't that the shit you guys, I don't see, that's the thing too. This is the shit that I don't understand. They will talk about how these chick movies, these girl movies, are all like lovey-dovey and rom-com, and that's why women shouldn't be in action films and whatever. And then when the star says, yeah, there's none of that shit in this movie, it goes, what? Oh, so she hates men. Oh, so she hates men in a movie that has Lobo in it. Oh, But she hates men because this one movie isn't centered around that. The Spider-Man films aren't like centered around his relationship with MJ. He obviously is in a relationship with her, but not centered around it. Do these movies hate women now? That's insane. The Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson, that was not centered around his love of Catwoman. That was Bruce Wayne going against the Riddler. No one said that movie was anti-woman, but because her movie, her film, is centered around not a man and not relationships, it's an attack on men. Oh, she's played characters who are queer. That means she's insufferable. And she was obviously asked a question that warranted that response and wasn't something she just came up with her own. Am I going to watch a goddamn Sydney Watson video?
I have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends.
These people really can't help themselves when it comes to being insufferable. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. You know, I really feel like it's been a minute since we've had an actor or actress burst onto the scene who's been as insufferable and annoying.
Let me guess. Rachel Zegler.
As Rachel Zegler.
I wish these people were challenging. I wish these people would come with something new. I wish they would give me a challenge. Give me someone else. It's always Rachel Zegler or Brie Larson. If you say Rachel Zegler or Brie Larson to these people, you're going to be right about 70% of the time.
Weird. But, baby birds, fear not. We may finally have a contender. And while this person hasn't made all of you terribly upset just yet, it's not too late. You know, her time in the sun is just getting started. She's also Australian, so if you want to do some Australian-based insults, I will allow
This is evil Taylor Lorenz.
it on this one single occasion. I much prefer it when you guys make fun of New Zealanders or Canadians. They are completely fair game. Millie Alcock, who I'm going to call Millie in this video because I'm not sure how many times YouTube will let me say the word cock without having issue. She's the actress who is playing Supergirl in the new Supergirl and has been doing her own press junket for this film, given that it is soon to hit cinemas. If it matters, and I'm not sure if it does, Supergirl is a DCU movie adapted from the 2022 comic Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
No, that matters. That matters tremendously. Knowing what comic run they're adapting matters tremendously. Especially because a lot of the points about this movie, even prior to the whole she's insufferable thing because she's just a woman on the internet, but the first earlier drama was that James Gunn, compared to the Snyderverse, so like, oh, people make fun of Snyder, but look at James Gunn. His Supergirl just says truth, justice, or whatever, which was like, yeah, because that's the comic.
And it follows a girl called Kara, who is an alien, who is sent on a journey of revenge and justice and brings her dog along. I don't know. She briefly appeared in the last Superman movie and added absolutely nothing to the story. So that's fun.
Are you dumb? Oh no. A cameo character add nothing to the story. Oh no. Oh no! I hope it wasn't a setup for her own film. I hope her showing up in this film being seen as irresponsible to the point where she just left her dog with her cousin while she went to party it up across the galaxy. I hope that doesn't play into this film. I hope that's not what they're doing. I don't know how movies work. This is my first time on Earth. I am 11 years old. I've never seen a film. Someone tell me what a setup is. And even tangentially, she did add to the story because the fact that Crypto was here is because of her. And so everything Crypto does is an extension of the fact that she left her here. Though she was being irresponsible, she still left him here. Crypto's her dog. So like when Crypto helps out in the movie, that's because it's her dog. She's there. You understand that, right? Like it's not like like she literally left him there. So like Clark having to deal with Crypto is actually a fairly important plot point to the film. Spoiler alert, at one point he gets free from being in prison, Clark, and then he becomes imprisoned again specifically to look for Crypto. And then Crypto ends up helping him throughout whatever. Watch Superman.
Thanks for watching it, bitch!
Some 35-year-old millennial woman wrote this scene. I just know it. Worth noting that Supergirl as a comic series has been around since the late 50s. This matters, but we'll come back to it a little bit later. So during her press interviews, Millie has made a series of comments about this film that not only have people raising an eyebrow, but also, in my opinion at least, feel very, very Rachel Zegler coded.
It's Hollywood, baby.
During this recent interview, for example, the journalist says that Millie's character Kara is a queer icon and asks her why she thinks so many LGBT fans see themselves in this.
Is that how they say LGBTQ in Kangaroo Land? LGBT. Crikey.
This character. Millie, who honestly seems to be quite drunk here, answers that she's played other roles with potentially queer storylines, and she's honored that people think of her this way. Yes, unfortunately, this is one of those answers.
Over the years, many fans have...
What the fuck? Why would you even include this in your video? Because this makes you look bad. She is specifically asked, over the years, many fans have embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think it is about Kara that inspires that kind of connection? She's just answering the question she was asked. Look, what is this?
Embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think is about Kara that inspires that kind of connection? I think I played a few characters that might have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends, so honestly, I'm kind of honored. I'm honored that that's happening. But
am I wrong that she seems kind of drunk here? Girl is acting like she downed a bunch of tequila.
This is what you do when you don't have anything to actually say about the content what someone's saying. I should know that because sometimes I do that too. When the video's gone on too long, you're just gonna be like, that accent's weird. Then you keep going. This is what she's doing. She's focusing on her potentially being drunk.
Shots before she got on the red carpet and is, trying not to take her clothes off. Who is doing the media training for these people? Millie goes,
okay, you added the whole trying to take your clothes off thing. She not even close. Like, she doesn't even look drunk, but if you want to give her that, she's not sloppy drunk. She just looks more like having a good time.
On to say that Supergirl doesn't live inside the binary of gender expectations, and then alludes to her character being LGBT, saying that she'd do what she wants to do in the sexuality regard, anyway.
I think because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be,
that is very different than saying that she doesn't live in the gender binary. That is a very different statement. Okay? Saying that someone doesn't live in the binary of what people expect them to be is not the same as they do not live in the gender binary. If she's talking about being a woman, right? They're expecting her to be like cooking and cleaning or whatever, and she's not doing that. That doesn't mean she doesn't now view herself as a woman. Because gender binary is not the same as not fitting particularly in the expectation of said gender. Gender binary, like, hey, it's people who are non-binary. Like, she's not non-binary. She's just saying that she doesn't fit the expectation of what they traditionally think as a woman is. This would be like saying, I don't fit the traditional expectation of what people stereotypically think of a black person. So then what, I'm no longer black? It's like, no, I just don't fit your expectation. I'm still black. She's still a woman. She's called Supergirl, not super person. Like, it is though in a status case. What are you talking about? She's really going for the I have queer friends. Hey, if you're gonna be annoying, we can just not do that, dog.
that is what makes her so special and so exciting and so new. And yeah, I kind of thought that as well. I was like, she wouldn't she'd do what she'd want to do in that regard anyway. But yeah, thank you.
I honestly have no idea why these kind of questions come up and why this generation of journalists and media personalities is completely obsessed with sexuality and with whom you are doing the devil's tango. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares. I think this...
Let's see. I just want to confirm something. No one cares about the LGBT movement is over. Feels like you care about who people are doing the devil's tango with. If we just type in LGBT on your channel, just bulk fatigue, the particular class of the trans music, new conversion therapy. When your husband's such a, yeah, I think in fact, Sydney, you might be one of the people who cares about the devil's tango. It's weird to me for you to say that no one cares when you have like a ton of videos that prove that to be not the case.
This is one of those talking points that doesn't actually exist in reality, but is being recycled by outlets over and over again, because when I was researching for this video, I didn't really find anybody else talking about this, but I found a bunch of outlets had basically almost verbatim written the same.
What does that mean? You were doing research, you didn't find anyone talking about it, but you found outlets talking about it. So then isn't that people talking about it? Like, are you saying you Oh, Shell, thank you for the dono. For me, with the Grifter channels, I look at their most viewed videos and that tells you what they chance after. I mean, that's smart. But like, for her to say that no one's talking about that thing, are you like going on Twitter and saying like, yeah, the people I follow on Twitter weren't talking about it? Because like what is the methodology? Like, did you just do this? Did you just go on like, did you go, my Lord Gaben, did you go here and go like, Supergirl like queer and like see like what popped up with that? In DC bombshell alternate comic book runs, Kara's explicitly written as a lesbian. Supergirl series was super into queer baiting. Her and Lana are Lena Luthor. Like, queer icon, medical system binary. But like, obviously, a lot right now is gonna be her response to that. But I'm curious as to what was the actual structure, because I just showed you that even DC has, in some universes, made her gay. Super gay, a queer nod of CW Supergirl. This is someone's fucking paper. Like, this is a dissertation. Is this not people talking about her being queer? Like, that's what I don't understand. Supergirl kiss like that, lesbian fandom and queer baiting. Like, these are actual published papers. So what is the methodology that you use to be like, no one was talking about it, but outlets were talking about it? I went to 2 pages of Google and I've already found 2 actual published papers talking about Supergirl being queer. This is from fucking 2015. 7 reasons why queer men should check out Supergirl. Supergirl being super, 2016, Queer Comic Database. Three years ago, some people who were not outlets asking, why did the writers of Supergirl want Kara to read the man instead of Lena? What is so queer about Supergirl anyways? Like, there's shit from 2015, 2018. So I have to question the veracity of your research. How Supergirl mirrors my own coming out, a Vice article from 2017. And again, some of these, yeah, are outlets, but like, they've been talking about Supergirl being queer for literally over a decade, or at least her connection to them being queer, which is probably why that was asked at that particular meeting, right? Because that has become part of the character.
Same thing about this queer thought processed queer thing that's going on here. Supergirl has long carried significance for women, queer fans, and gender diverse readers who see in Kara's story a narrative of self-definition, carving out an identity separate from Superman. I don't even know what this means. I don't even think these writers know what this means. Of course.
Okay, let me explain what this means. Supergirl has long carried significance for women, queer fans, and gender diverse readers who see in Kara's story a narrative about self-definition and carving out an identity separate from a man. So, first part here, right? They are reading Supergirl, or watching Supergirl, or they are engaging with Supergirl, and through Supergirl, they are seeing themselves. They are seeing someone who is struggling to define themselves by their own definition, meaning not listening to what society wants from you or telling you who you are, but you defining for yourself who you are. And this part about carving identity separate from Superman, that has to do a lot with women being attached to men. We see this all the time. When the famous celebrity dates a woman, that woman now gets known as someone's ex-girlfriend. Gisele Bündchen is Tom Brady's ex, right? Kim Kardashian is Kanye West's ex. These women are now being reduced to simply being related to these men. In Supergirl's case, she has to separate herself from Superman because that is the expectation. Her being in Clark's shadow is part of why she wants to define herself on her own terms. People look at her. Actually, you could also see this in Connor Kent, the clone of Superman. You could also see this with Nightwing and Batman, how Batman and Robin, right, Dick Grayson, was the original Robin and wanted to find his identity outside of Batman. Those stories resonate with younger people because young people are navigating the world and trying to figure out who they are. Doubly so if they're queer. So when they see someone like Supergirl, who is a queer icon, right? Regardless if she's actually queer herself, they can relate more to that. So her struggles become more personal for them. That's what they mean.
Story, a narrative of self-definition, carving out an identity separate from Superman. I don't even know what this means. I don't even think these writers know what this means. Of course her identity would be separate from Superman. She's a completely different character. Guess we're just having another adventure in saying the obvious today. Anyway.
No, I just explained to this. Were you not listening? Her name is Supergirl. He is Superman. Her outfit is very similar to his. He was on Earth first. Everything she does is a reflection on Superman. Her comparison is Superman. It's like if you had a big brother or big sister, or in this case, if you had a big sister, I don't know Sydney's background. If you had a big sister who was also a YouTuber and then you became a YouTuber, people are going to automatically compare you to your sister. If you guys are basketball fans here, LeBron James has a son named LeBron James Jr., aka Bronny James. Bronny James is also in the NBA, also on the Lakers. LeBron James is on the Lakers. The second Bronny stepped foot into the NBA, he was immediately compared to his dad. Because, to be fair, his name was LeBron James Jr., but outside of that, they know that's his son. There's an expectation placed on him because of all the shit his dad did. All-time leading scorer, went to the finals like 100 years in a row, one of the best to ever touch a basketball. And I'll fight you on that, my GOAT. But one of the best to ever do it. He's going to get compared to that. Jordan's kids, if they were to ever have made it to NBA, would have got compared to that. Like, that's why.
Anyway, the Rachel Zeglering on the red carpet has continued because Millie decided to double down on the LGBT sentiments. Because these actors and actresses are nothing if not predictable. There's actually a group of people who is also...
Says the woman who I called was going to mention Rachel Zegler 10 seconds into this video.
Incredibly predictable, and that would be data brokers who unfortunately...
Oh, this is an ad read?
This answer here made me think of Rachel Zegler's infamous interview where she said that this movie isn't centered around a man. Like, obviously. It's called Supergirl. She finishes this statement
That's not obvious though. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. Obviously not centered around a man. It's called Supergirl. Oh, so Superman, there was nothing with the woman in that movie because Superman? Nothing in the movie with Superman? It wasn't centered around him and Lois's fucking relationship? That played no part of it? There was no love interest in that movie because it's called Superman? Like, is that the level of discourse we're at on the conservative side? Well, of course this movie doesn't have a love interest as a woman. It's called He-Man. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Off by saying that there is no love story in this film and that her character, Kara, probably goes both ways. She's referring to bisexuality here.
Discussion online about Kara's queerness in the comics. Was that something that you explored when you were preparing?
She's being interviewed by a radio station that no one's ever heard of, first and foremost. So I love when they do this. They act as if like these interviewers are coming from MSNBC or Deadline and Variety. And it's like, we're Gay News Weekly. We're Queerly Radio. We're Bottoms Up Network. I don't know if that's a real thing, but we're super gay. So we're going to ask you things that our audience, the gay audience who want to support you, who do support you, we want to ask you, what do you think your character sexuality is? Because our audience would love to know this. Like, that's how interviews work. It's so weird. People think like, depending on the audience, like if she was at Comic-Con, right, and they were asking what her favorite issue is, would you be like, oh my God, where's the media training? Why would they be asking her about her favorite comic book issue? Who gives a shit? The audience of the interviewer, when these interviews go live, it goes live for those audiences. Like when I'm watching basketball and they do the press conferences and then you see like Luka Doncic speaking in like Slovenian, he's talking to a Slovenian audience. And when he's speaking Spanish, he's talking to the Spanish speaking audience. So sometimes they'll ask him things about Spanish related things, like things from Spain. Or, hey, Luka, you're from Slovenia. What's your favorite food? Or, hey, Luka, your team's in the World Cup. What's your thoughts on that? They do it for basketball players too. Like, hey, LeBron James, this weekend, Ohio State's going into, they're in the bowl game. Who are you going for? It's like, obviously, Ohio State's my home. Like, you know what I mean? They do that shit all the time because that's what their audience wants to hear. Queerly Radio is going to want to hear some queer shit.
For the role.
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all, if anything. Yeah. But we'll see. I don't really know, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's great.
She'd probably go both ways.
Actually, that's a bit rude by 2026 standards.
And also, she's being cheeky. She's like, yeah, I asked this, in honor of Pride Month. It's like when I say, like, hey, you guys, since it's Pride Month, I'll let you guys be extra gay this month. Like, obviously, they're fucking joking. Like, she's like, yeah, she probably goes both ways. Why is this a point for you?
There's no binary. There's 72,000 genders. Bigot. When I say that.
Oh my God, you guys really do have just the one joke. Or is it because you're in Australia, it's taking a long time for other jokes to... No, they only have the one joke. It's the billion genders, attack helicopter, I identify as, which is also a type helicopter, but like identify as, and my pronouns are Prosecute Fauci.
That this reminds me of that one specific Rachel Zegler clip that we all know and love. I really mean it. Here's a quick refresher if you've forgotten, although I don't know how you could. All of us have showed this to you about 1,000 times. Pay attention!
I mean, that's more of a self-report on you guys, right? When she says all of us, she's talking about the grifter sphere and how they have all used the same exact clip of Rachel Zegler and then had the same comment. Almost as if you guys have no actual independent thought. Weird.
Steven.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
All Millie really had to say here was,
God forbid a woman jokes. God forbid. And also, I'm sorry about that. Actually, I'm not sorry. Are you guys just fucking pussies? I know that seems very misogynist for me to say, but are you guys like wimps? Like, are you wussies? What is this? Oh no. Rachel Zegler said something on the red carpet. She must hate women. She is now my ultimate enemy. I thought you guys were stoic. I thought you guys were tough. You're the same motherfuckers who like you wouldn't survive the Call of Duty lobbies. You wouldn't survive Rachel Zegler on a fucking Disney red carpet.
so they'd cut all Jason Momoa's scenes, and that's Hollywood, baby. And it would basically be the exact same interview.
Insane. Insane, Sydney Watson. Insane for you to play the clip of Rachel Zegler hamming it up and saying, they can call it scenes, that's Hollywood, baby, and saying the only difference between that interview and Millie's is that Millie didn't say the same thing about Jason Momoa. When Millie was just asked, is her character like gay? And she's like, she can go both ways. How is this the same? How is this the same?
Yeah.
It's Hollywood, baby.
But the really, really random, weird comments about Millie's character going both ways is sort of a throwback to criticism progressives had of the show Supergirl, which was on CW for honestly, like I think 10 years or so. People said that the show queer-baited a same-sex romance between Kara
It fucking absolutely did. It absolutely did.
and Lena Luthor. And this is due to a bunch of factors like romantic music in scenes, grand gestures between the two, romantic dialogue, the way the pair act around each other, and so on and so forth. And this made a lot of LGBT people mad because apparently this is a tactic used in Hollywood to make fans of a certain group watch, hoping for the emotional payoff that they want when two same-sex characters get together or something. Maybe this is the same thing, I don't know, but it does feel a little bit reminiscent, especially because the film isn't out yet and they're baiting the queers. Anyway, like so many
They're not queer baiting though. Queer baiting. You just described, what's wrong with these people? You just described the context of queer baiting, right? Where you're like, yeah, they added these romantic scenes or romantic music to these scenes. The way that they interact with each other. That is queer bait. First, I watched Supergirl. They did queer bait the fuck out of that show. The way she talks to Lena Luthor and actually Lena is not the same way she talks to like Jimmy. Even when she was with Connell, that shit was not. They didn't have good chemistry also at all. But like, that was queer baiting as fuck. Millie saying her character might go both ways is not queer baiting. Because she's not in control of it. Like that's, I remember in Supernatural, I think like, God, I want to say, was it Misha? One of them was like Misha, they were saying they played their character like they were in love with each other. And I'm like, yeah, the actor can do that. The actor can say, I play all my characters as if they're in love with their friends or whatever. But that doesn't mean like the show's queer baiting. Although Supernatural got pretty close to fucking being like, I understand people are mad about Supernatural in terms of queer baiting. Even though Dean was like pretty much a hetero guy, but he could also be pan, who cares? But like, this is not that.
Many other films today, this one has also been plagued with quite a bit of criticism since the start of this year especially, and a lot of things that Millie Alcock has said have landed her in a little bit of hot water.
Also, you can't criticize a film that has not come out. So to be like there's been criticism about this film since this year is proof that there has been made up controversy around this film since this year. You cannot criticize a film that doesn't exist.
When she was originally announced in this role, there was some mild disappointment over her age and looks, I guess, not matching the classic Supergirl.
Mild? Don't you fucking dare. Do not try to undersell the rampant misogynistic attacks that she was enduring strictly because of her looks. Do not say mild.
And aesthetic. Supergirl from the original comics looks a lot older and more mature, despite being around, I'm pretty sure, about 16 years old. But the real issues came about when Vanity Fair published an interview with Millie towards the end of March 2026. In this piece, Millie was asked that, after playing a role in House of the Dragon, if the Game of Thrones fandom prepared her for the inevitable backlash that she would face playing Supergirl. She said that it made her aware that simply existing as a woman in this space is something that people comment on. Quote, "We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them, I can only be myself."
This is a 1,000% true. This is 1,000% true. I just had a video come out recently when people were going after a VTuber named Demi and saying that she was obese and fat and ugly and disgusting and chopped. Yes, she's not any of those things. I'm not going to show the picture again. I feel like that's kind of done to death. But that's just a person who's not even like a big celebrity. You see this all the time. All the time. Every female pop star goes through this. Every woman on the internet of any sort of renown goes through this. This is literally true.
This stuff is such leftist flim-flam to me that I know objectively what the words mean, but I have absolutely no idea most of the time what these people are trying to convey because they do it so badly. Maybe she's talking about being objectified, but I kind of feel like she's basically saying that people claim ownership of her as a person and not just a character and expect her to act a certain way.
That's literally what you're doing, by the way. You are, in fact, expecting her to act a certain way, which is why you're making the biggest deal out of her saying what? Her character could go both ways because she's like, doesn't really give a shit about that. Like, you're doing this.
Which, all right. But on that front, I mostly think that people want actors and actresses just not to suck. So
Okay, I have to do this because Sydney Watson's full of shit. Sydney Watson is full of shit. I have literally been inundated with people AIing pictures of Supergirl, pictures of Millie Alcock. Literally. I'm not exaggerating. I typed in Supergirl on Twitter. What is the first thing you see? What is the first thing you fucking see? This is mild. People are using AI. People are trying to say Sydney Sweeney would be a better look. Look how hot Sydney Sweeney is. I've seen people take Supergirl, take her and do the exactly. Why does she look like this guy? So what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't even type in Supergirl. I put no qualifiers. I just said Supergirl. This is the shit that's been going on the internet. Her dating history. House of the Dragon, Supergirl, same artist, same actress. Like, what do you mean? How to Kill Supergirl in One Step, and just asking about the same question. Like, you're trying to tell me this is mild? Hey, Grok, remove the prettiest Supergirl. Like, I should be careful because Twitter be crazy. Again, Sydney Sweeney. It's like this is just a sliver. There are people who are AI. That episode's great. There are people who are AIing her. Just Sydney Sweeney. Okay, someone's cheeks. All right, I have to be careful now. But and that's just on this house site. There are so many other people. Here we go. Look at this. She really hasn't aged after all these years. She is the real Supergirl. 1974, 1981, 2013, 2026. They were calling her Will Poulter for the longest time. She's the ugliest Supergirl ever. Now suddenly people give a shit about Melissa Benoist as Supergirl, which I loved her. But they're trying to be like, which is better, who is preferred. She wasn't even the last Supergirl. Sasha Calle was. But like, to be like, they should have cast Caitlin Bennett. Like, this says she has Down syndrome. Like, this is exactly what she was talking about. This is exactly what she was talking about. And what does Sydney Watson say? Oh, it's mild. Oh, look, the Supergirl movie looks meh. 6,000 likes. This person just does this shit about people, by the way. But this is exactly what she was talking about. This is exactly what she was talking about. Oh, but what do they mean? Ownership over their bodies? Backlash? What could that mean? I think people just means they want her to not suck. Bull fucking shit. They liked her in House of the Dragon because she's supposed to be underage and servile in a way as a daughter of the king. They don't like her Supergirl because she's reflecting her character. Exactly. It's always this shit. They always like to pretend they don't understand what's happening so they can go, oh, you leftists are weird. Like, I'm sorry, she sounds like an idiot, right? You couldn't parse this sentence. You knowing how society is, knowing the internet, and if you're being truthful here, Sydney, you would be like, yeah, I know what she means, because you have definitely seen this shit. You talk about this shit in video games. You have a video about fucking God of War Laufey. Nobody wants this. You are in fact doing in this video exactly what Millie's talking about happens to women existing on the internet. Because you don't think this version of Deborah Ann Wool is hot enough. They made her ugly. Watch. They like wokeified. I guarantee you.
They're destroying the things we love again. The actual game is called God of War Laufey. I'm not sure how the God of War people want this pronounced, but that's not how they say it in Iceland. I looked it up, so yeah, just pretend I can speak another language for a moment. At least the memes have been hilarious.
Oh, look, Dr. Clown PhD. So she's definitely seen the one about Millie. Let's just talk about how she was talking about the looks, right?
Are off delivering her ashes. She's battling monsters in this other world and playing with a weird cube. I don't know. It's probably worth mentioning too that not only are people upset about a game without Kratos, but they don't really understand why God of Wife looks sort of haggard and tired.
She looks worse, by the way, in Ragnarok in this picture than in this picture, which is what's insane to me.
This is not inspiring. It makes me hope she gets some sleep. Predictably, people are saying that Faye looks realistic and this is great, but I'm not sure who asked for that outside of the 400 activists who worked on this game.
Exactly my point. Thank you, Sydney Sweeney. Thank you, Sydney Watson, for proving you are a grifting piece of shit. Because why are you acting confused by existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership over women's bodies when you are literally doing this right here. You are literally doing it right here in this video. A video you posted 7 days ago. 7 days ago, when you forget, what does she mean? God, people are they're so disingenuous.
Woman, they got mad because you're hitting out at potential. I'm on the fandom when they hadn't even said anything yet about Supergirl. About a month later, during an interview with Variety, she commented on this again, saying, I didn't even say men, I said people, and they got so angry. I was like, you're proving my point, you're proving my point. Again, people didn't get mad because you're a woman, they got mad because you're hitting out at potential fans and existing fans who haven't.
This is one of the most bullshit fucking copes, and I'm starting to get hot. This is one of the most bullshit fucking copes you will ever see. And also, How dumb are you to put this in your video? This makes your point so weak because she didn't, in fact, say men. She said people. And you're saying, oh, but you're attacking your potential audience. Who is she attacking, Sydney? Who is she attacking? Who does this attack? If I say we have become very comfortable having this weird ownership over people's bodies or over women's bodies, right? If I say this, who am I attacking? Am I attacking the weird people who want to have ownership over people's bodies? Are you, Sydney, saying that this is her potential audience? This was her audience? She was talking about her audience? Or was she talking about the very real phenomenon in which you also participate in, Sydney, of making weird comments about women's bodies? Huh. And even when she says, I clarified it, didn't even say men, and you guys are upset and proving her point. And then what do, Sydney? You prove her point.
I said people. Again, people didn't get mad because you're a woman.
They did. They specifically got mad because she's a woman. That is the entire premise of this. Her being a woman is why they have weird ownership over her. Part of that ownership is her not talking out of turn. The same shit you guys did to Rachel Zegler. The same shit you guys did to Brie Larson, which I've never even checked her account, but I'm positive Sydney Sweeney is not original, and she absolutely has views on Brie Larson. 100%. Boom. Right fucking there. Right fucking there. Right there. Again, I have never checked her channel out, and I knew that. Because these people are predictable and they are the same.
Got mad because you're hitting out at potential fans and existing fans who haven't done anything yet.
Then she's not talking about them. Like, what's the expression? Hit dogs holler. If I was talking about like the Wolverine game coming out, which I did talk about, and I was like, yeah, there's a bunch of babies talking about like the options, right? And you're like, oh, I'm attacking Wolverine fans? No, I've said these are babies. Are you a baby? Are you one of the babies complaining about it? Then maybe I am. But that's not every Wolverine fan.
I don't think this is the win that you think it is. You said something kind of antagonistic. People were antagonized, and now you're saying, ha! My point is proved. What is your point? That you're annoying? Her comments in this live.
I'm refraining so much right now because I don't want someone to be like, look at this guy being misogynistic to Sydney Watson. But you have to be either intentionally grifting, which I believe you are, or just dumb. Like, you got to be just dumb, right? Because what did she say that was so antagonistic? People are going to judge her because they have a weird ownership of women's bodies. We have proven this point literally 1,000 times fold since she has said that. We prove this every single day on the internet. We prove this all the fucking time.
Last piece definitely stirred up further drama when it shifted into describing superhero fandom as a place for backlash organized by trolls and incels. Millie said that when people turn to online forums to find guidance, it creates an unhealthy relationship with a person who will eventually and inevitably disappoint their fans. She adds that this is how it's always been for women, and a lot of criticism is coming from profiles with no photo who are burner accounts, or from someone's name and then data for Christian, which is hilarious to her. Quote, but I mean, whose opinions do you really care?
Again, she's 100% correct. She's 100% correct. To the point where we have memes that are like, you will see the most racist person in the world or the worst person in the world, and they check their bio and it says Christ is king, father of four. Like, Sydney is trying to intentionally rewrite reality in which nothing that Millie says exists, that sexism online doesn't exist, that sexism is not a thing, that this is all a meritocracy, that everyone online just speaks truth and they're just fans and there's no toxicity anywhere. When we can just look at reality. We can just look
care about. If you're pissing off the right kind of people, you're doing okay.
Let me guess. The right kind of people, your fans? You're okay with pissing off potential fans?
Color me crazy, but I'm not super sure that fans are in fact the right people to piss off.
Oh, come on. Make this difficult for me. Make it hard for me, Sydney. I almost got that verbatim. I'm telling you, I wish this was I wish this was challenging. I wish breaking down their stuff was challenging. I truly wish it was, but it's not.
But that could just be me. Some people took this to mean that she was mocking Christians, but really she's just generally mocking fans and critics alike. And what Millie will soon realize, and will probably have to learn the hard way, is that going after fans in general is just never a good idea.
This is, by the way, this is Grifter Talking Point 101. They will always flip everything into you're attacking the fans. This is not what the fans want. Fans don't like this. You saw it with God of War Lawfare. You'll see it with any game that has a female lead, especially if there was previously a male lead. You'll see it with games that have queer characters. You'll see it with games that have black characters or minorities. You will see it every single time. You will see it regardless. They will always try to make it seem as if, well, this is not what the fans want. And I have always said this, and I will stand 1,000 toes down on this. I'm a fucking millipede. Fans do not know what they want. They don't. They do not know what they want. They get something, and then they decide if they like it or not. That's how it's always been. That's how it will always be. Random, but still DCU, or DC at least. Fans didn't ask for Scott Snyder to write on Batman during the New 52. They didn't ask for Core of the Owls. Fans didn't ask for Absolute Batman or the Absolute Universe. They weren't like, we want a 7-foot-tall Bruce Wayne who's an engineer. We want a Wonder Woman who grew up in hell. They never asked for that shit, and they got it, and they loved it. They loved it. They didn't ask for Nicholas Hoult to be Lex Luthor. They didn't ask for the plot for the Superman movie to happen. Guess what? The movie came out and they loved it. You don't know what fans want. You don't. You really don't.
About a month ago, even YouTuber Grace Randolph, who has said some of the dumbest things alive, said that if she was Millie's publicist, she would tell her to stop talking for the love of God.
So you're using Grace Randolph, a person no one should take seriously. You've even admitted that she does nothing but dumb shit. And then you go on to say, and her advice is, this does not strengthen your point. This does not strengthen your point. Why would you preface this by saying, yeah, this person's always fucking wrong, and they're dumb and they're stupid. But they said if they were there, yeah, I would not listen to fucking Grace Randolph for advice.
She can't stop talking, and she won't. None of these young actors and actresses can, because they just cannot help themselves.
I'm not coming for Millie. I'm giving Millie advice. And
I don't care. I don't care about Grace Randolph.
Time someone did it.
But you would think after, just there's something.
So movies and shows have failed because celebrity. Not like there's a long established track record here where movies and shows have failed because celebrities failed to keep their mouths shut.
When has that happened?
What's ironic though is that this isn't even the first time that she.
When has that happened? Why not bring proof of this statement? Show me the data of a celebrity, let's be real, female celebrity saying something and that tanking the show or movie. Because I remember a particular blonde woman you guys might have heard of called Brie Larson said some shit, and I think her movie made $1 billion. I think that film made $1 billion. And you guys said she was bad, she ruined it. It made $1 billion. So I don't. And also, there's also a track record of shit just failing. The He-Man actors and actresses said nothing. That movie's a flop, unfortunately. There's been movies that have flopped and the producers, that no one said anything. See, this is what I'm talking about. They want to attribute anytime something fails to just one particular point, which is someone was being too woke. But when a movie still fails, it's never because of that. If the characters aren't considered woke. Exactly. They bring up the Marvels but ignore Captain Marvel. And they ignore the reasons why the Marvels and other films that came out during that time outside of Disney weren't doing well. Spoiler alerts because of COVID. But they won't talk about that because that does not help their argument. What they will talk about is they will allude for their audience, well, you know how these things fail. Look what happened to Snow White. Yeah, it wasn't because there was a BDS boycott going on. And if anything, it was the Zionism of one Gal Gadot, who's not even a good actress, playing the main bad guy, that might have turned people off to that movie. You're right. It was Rachel Zegler saying, that's showbiz.
There's a long established track record here where movies and shows have failed because celebrities failed to keep their mouths shut.
And again, she will not provide any evidence to that claim.
What's ironic, though, is that this isn't even the first time that she's done things like this. Back in 2022, during her time on HBO's House of the Dragon, she took stabs at male viewers who were comparing her character to another character, Alicent. She said, "What I found quite hilarious is that the fan base is also putting the actors, the young Alicent and the young Rhaenyra, at odds with each other, and choosing who's better, also by decision of mostly men. So I think that it's just really effing ironic." None of this is all that weird for a fandom, just by the way. There are...
What is the context in which she was talking about, though? Because she said it's ironic. Hey, Sydney, why is it ironic? Can we see the rest of that? Can we see the rest of that interview, please?
Fandoms out there that get so much more toxic. Ask me how I know. It's because I go on Reddit regularly and hang out with the neckbeards. Anyway, there's a...
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. But also, her defense was there's fandoms that get more toxic. Okay. Okay.
A part of me that feels like Millie Alcock, and honestly, probably even the execs that she's been working with, are okay with the backlash and they don't really mind the chatter online because they've tried to paint this character of Kara as a person who kind of goes against the grain and starts trouble and is a generally difficult character.
The character Supergirl often gets pigeonholed to being this milquetoast reflection of Superman.
I think she challenges that throughout this film.
You know what's amazing? James Gunn and I said the same exact thing. So James Gunn explained exactly that quote from earlier when she was talking about like how queer people have a relationship to Supergirl, like finding her identity. He just nailed it in like one sentence.
For example, in an interview with Beyond Noise magazine sometime in March, I think, Millie said, "I hope that the goal with this film is to have a young, deeply flawed female role model for young girls." No, we're okay. Thank you. There's enough of those floating around.
Are you gonna let her finish? Because I guarantee what she was gonna say is there's a stereotype that little girls must be perfect and all these things. And I want to show them it's okay to be imperfect, but still work on yourself. Matter of fact, what was the magazine called?
An interview with Beyond Noise magazine sometime in...
Let's see. Let me see. Millie Alcock, Beyond Noise. Can I read the interview? Please let me read the interview. Okay, here we go. Can I just control F it? It'd be flawed. Wait, god damn it. Stop it. Wait, go back. Okay. All right, let's try this again. I was right. This is who I am. This is what I do. I hope that the goal, specifically with this film, is to have a young, deeply flawed female role model for young girls. There's a stereotype, especially with women in these worlds of sci-fi and action. There's this element of perfectionism that's what makes them good. The beauty of Kara is that she's so bad, and that's what makes her good. I always think when you're writing female characters that they're received very differently. I actually think that in some ways. I made no consideration of the fact that she's a woman. I just wrote and I thought she was as a character. There was no feeling of trying to make people like her. I didn't think about the likability factor. I didn't think any of us did. She makes sense. She never does anything wrong in the movie. She's kind of always makes the right choice, even if she does it in a roundabout way. The hope is that we can think, oh yeah, she's a woman, she's a person. I'm not writing her as if she were a man. I'm not trying to strip her for gender. So this is doubly interesting to me because not only does this completely defeat Sydney's point saying that this character is gender binary, which I called, but also the fact that, yes, they are talking about the fact that historically women are written a very specific way and that they are perfect in these ways and that's what makes them good. And she's like, I'm not writing this as like I'm writing a male character. I'm writing this as a person, right? I'm not stripping her for gender or anything like that. Also, if anything you guys have learned so far of me watching this video is that I'm really good at this shit. I'm actually really good at understanding behaviors and understanding character arcs and where characters are being led towards because I have media literacy. And I'm not some fucking grifter who deceptively leaves context out.
March, I think, Millie said, I hope that the goal with this film is to have a young, deeply flawed female role model for young girls. No, we're okay. Thank you. There's enough of those floating around. Quote, the beauty of Kara is that
at least she finished it.
So bad, and that's what makes her good. What? In an interview with Entertainment
Okay, she kind of finished it. She didn't even show the full thing. Okay, yeah, okay.
Tonight in April 2026, she said something similar, saying that she hopes young girls see the film and walk away from it knowing it's okay to be bad, flawed, and messy. She also said that the tagline of the film is that Kara is a bad bitch with a heart of gold.
There are going to be a lot of little girls
I
who
know,
see this.
and that's really going to get me. That's going to be the thing that I'm like, it's going to like well me up, yeah. I feel such kinship with Kara, and I just really want this film to be seen by as many.
And J-Rex, you're right. These are the same people, mind you, who hated Daisy Ridley's character as Rey because she was a Mary Sue. So when they show someone who's flawed, they don't like it. But you know what? Batman was flawed in The Batman, right? He thought his way was effective, that he had to be fearful, but he was scaring the people he was saving and had to learn throughout the film to stop being vengeance and start being hope. Even Superman. Superman wasn't perfect in his movie. I mean, he's Superman, but like he was led under false pretenses of his true purpose and had like a little existential crisis. It's okay to show your heroes having flaws or moments of weaknesses because the whole point is even through their flaws, they are still heroes. I mean, fuck, Daredevil, Jesus Christ, man. That's all I gotta say. Just Daredevil. Spider-Man's flawed. Spider-Man's messy. Half the movies, the reason why the plot happens is because of his either inaction or him making the wrong call initially, but he's still trying to work through it. The last film, No Way Home, he was going to murder someone until other Spider-Man stopped him. And then he finally took to heart Aunt May's lesson. But like, again, that's just superhero-ness. She's just not being written as this perfect, flawless person. Because that's fucking boring. And again, those sort of roles are generally led for women, which sucks. Because every time it happens to women, again, you get a Rey situation where everyone hates her because she's perfect. But if a man does it, it's great. He's just competent.
Young women, I think, specifically, as possible, because I think the message is like, to be good, you have to be a bit bad. Like, it's okay to be flawed. It's okay to be messy as long as your heart is in the right place.
She's a bad bitch with a heart of gold.
She is. That is the tagline.
I genuinely don't know how these comments didn't get more attention, especially because
Sydney, there are large contingent of people on the internet whose entire presence doesn't revolve around constantly being outraged. There are people who can parse sentences and understand that what she was saying by being bad, not being evil, but it's okay to not be perfect. It is okay for women to not be perfect. Notice how they really emphasized the heart of gold part, right? That's the key part of this. And Millie's young. Women call each other bad bitches all the time. Queen bitch, head bitch, this. Like, that's just, women talk like that. It's a confidence boost. Yeah, I feel like a bad bitch tonight. I'm going to do bad bitch activities, hot girl stuff, yada, yada, yada. Like, there's nothing they're saying here that's wrong.
these are the sort of things, when a celebrity says something like this, people really like to glob onto them because it's objectively like, what are you even saying? But I think maybe because no one cares about Supergirl and there's no real interest in this movie, it sort of got washed over.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much. There's no interest in this movie, and yet every goddamn grifter, her, Nerd-Erotic, Critical Drinker, I think even like Smash AT, Hillsborough Babyface, all these people are talking about it. All these people are talking about it, but no one cares. There's no interest in it. No one gives a shit, right?
And no one's really paid attention to the borderline stupid things that this woman has been saying about her role. But I think this
I also like how she says that borderline stupid when this entire video, every time she's played a line from Millie or a quote, her response was, I don't get it. I don't understand. Huh? What does she mean?
Right here is why this film is probably not going to resonate with a bunch of people, especially people who might take their children to see it, which I kind of don't know why you would at this point. But, you know, we're kind of taking leave of the regular Superman family-esque tradition of being very positive and aspirational and going in a bit of a weird direction. And seriously...
My God. Am I having to explain behavior contrast and like characters to you? Supergirl, remember earlier when she was like, they're drawing from the Supergirl from 2022 in that storyline. I don't know if that's important. And I said, it's very important. This is why this is important. Because that version of Supergirl was going to different planets and getting drunk because she has fucking PTSD. Because she saw her entire people get, while Clark didn't. She has severe PTSD. She is a broken person through the PTSD. This film is going to be about her putting herself back together. That's what this film is going to be about, I promise you. But Superman, she's saying like, we're taking leave. You got that aspirational, pure 1960s Silver Age Superman in the Superman movie. That was his role. What you're getting for Supergirl is a different take on that, because otherwise, what's the purpose of having a Supergirl movie if she's exactly the same as him? Where is her growth? She's had a different environment. She comes from a literally different upbringing from a different planet. Why would she be exactly the same? She wasn't raised by the Kents. She saw her people die. Like, this is based off of Woman Tomorrow arc. Like, I don't understand how she can mention that and then try to act like that doesn't matter here. That matters tremendously. This would be like if they made an Injustice Superman movie, which I hope they never do, but if like they made an Injustice Superman movie and then her going like, well, I guess James Gunn just doesn't want a happy-go-lucky Superman. It's like they're adapting Injustice Superman. Like, what they're adapting is important. Why does Spider-Man have organic webbings in this upcoming film? Because they're adapting both the other and a version of Brand New Day storyline. That's why.
Young girls don't need more basket cases as role models. They need good, positive, nice people to look up to, and there is a distinct lack of that. In addition to all of this, it's pretty clear that Millie has tried to retrofit modern identity politics onto
I was
this
waiting
character.
for this. I was waiting for this. Modern identity politics. They are adapting a storyline from 2022. They are adapting. I guess arc. I should say arc. They are adapting something that came out between 2021 and 2022. Yeah, it's modern. Like what do you expect? This storyline came out literally 5 years ago. It concluded 4 years ago.
One who I think more or less was created to serve as, I guess, a wholesome female counterpart to Superman in a more innocent era. In the Variety article that I referenced earlier, Kara is described as punk rock, and in interviews, Millie has articulated this as well.
One designer that inspired me for playing Kara was Vivienne Westwood.
Oh, wow.
She very much reflects Kara's spirit. She's very rock and roll, very punk, very anti-authoritarian. I just think she's kind of in the universe. An artist that
Also, so was Superman. Like, Superman was also anti-authoritarian in his movie. Like, that was kind of a big plot to the film.
inspired me for Kara was Amyl and the Sniffers. They are an Australian punk band, and I think that Amy, who's the lead singer, reminds me of Kara so much. I think that they would be friends.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I find these interviews so funny because, number one, these questions are so silly as it is. I can promise you now
The question was,
that in addition to all of this, it's
What was the
pretty
question?
clear that Millie has tried to, I think, more or less was created to more innocent punk rock. And in interviews, Millie has articulated this as well.
One designer that inspired me for playing Kara was Vivienne Westwood.
so she's with GQ, a fashion magazine. So they're having a star who's doing the press junket coming onto there. So how, once again, class, GQ's audience is for fashion people. So how would they tie this for their audience? Oh, hey, either what design do you think your character would wear? What design do your character would like? Or what fashion designer do you think has an influence on your character? There's three versions of this question I could ask that all lead to this answer. Like, Sydney doesn't understand how interviews work. Like, that's what I'm getting. She doesn't understand how interviews work.
And they have these sort of cyclical conversations trying to outcool one another, and it's like, what am I listening to? This is how I know that I have crossed the threshold into angry grandpahood, because I listen to this and I can't help but think, shut up! Just for the love of God, shut up!
Oddly enough, that sentiment is starting to resonate with me too.
argument that they make here is that Supergirl in this film is rough around the edges because she's based on a 2022 interpretation of this character. The edgy one who gets drunk and goes and visits her cousin and does other sort of, naughty, messy stuff. Not the original classic Kara, who absolutely lives inside the binary of mid-20th century womanhood and is decidedly not gay. She just adds superpowers and heroism on top of it.
This movie fucking sucked. And also, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They always introduce Idpol and they always have to talk about this anti-modern. This version would resonate with nobody. You understand this. No one would watch this version at all. That's why James Gunn is not doing this version. Even his version of Superman, while it embodies the classic Superman spirit, is not the same version as Christopher Reeves, because that's not the world we live in. They would not resonate to anyone. Like, how is this a hard concept? How is this a hard concept to understand?
everything, who is not punk rock, but the cheerful, optimistic girl of steel who's both superpowered and human in her adjustment to life on Earth. She's often contrasted with Clark Kent / Superman as the more impulsive, or I guess maybe emotionally raw person because of her later arrival to the planet and her team perspective, but nowhere near whatever is going to be going on in this movie. Going back to the comments I
What a dumb addendum right there. You also admitted that she was more impulsive than Clark. So if they're updating it, what's more impulsive than being punk rock in a society that's clearly capitulating to authoritarianism? And again, why do you want her to be a carbon copy of Superman? Like, that's boring. Like, you see what I'm saying? These people don't know what's entertainment. They don't know what's interesting. They cannot for the life of them understand that this shit is boring. If this movie came out today, as is, it would fucking flop harder than it did when it came out during the time period it came out. Like, for all her bluster talking about this is gonna do bad, she should be like the old Supergirl. The 1986, I believe. Sorry, 1984 film fucking tanked. 19% Rotten Tomatoes. Let's look at the budget. 35 million. Let's look at the box office. 14 million. 14 million. It fucking bombed. It bombed in the 80s. So why would this be successful now? If Captain Marvel, the movie that you guys said was awful and woke, made a fucking $1 billion worldwide, why would they then go, you know what, let's do a movie, let's do the same thing. Remember that movie from 1984 that made negative money? Let's make that exact same character in this movie. Oh, wait, we can't, because we established her character in the fucking Superman movie, the movie that you said she had no impact on.
showed you at the start of this video, I find it so funny when these actors and actresses and studios claim that they're doing something exciting and new because they rejected gendered expectations, while ignoring decades of the original character.
Decades. One movie. And they are specifically adapting a run from this character that came out in 2022. They are ignoring decades of the character. They are taking the most recent version of the character
and its source material engaging with those gendered expectations. And okay, honestly, if you want to go down this road, you can claim that basically any character has quote-unquote queer appeal, because people are allowed to read into a character's motivations and like them and whatever. But claiming the character of Kara, especially original Kara, doesn't fit traditional womanhood is a significant and definitely absurd mystery.
No one's saying that.
And to be clear here,
who said that?
This film is not geared towards me, I am not its target demographic, I don't think that there's anything wrong, and I've said this on a number of occasions, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to tell a different kind of story.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. Yes, you do. You very clearly do, because this entire fucking video, at no point did you discuss the potential story of this film on its own merits. You were comparing it to the 1984 movie. So yes, you actually do have a problem with someone trying to tell a different story, just like you had a problem with Snow White, but it trying to tell a different story.
Using something that already exists, provided that you are doing the
original justice, they're paying respect to this
original IP service, provided that you are doing a good job of respecting that original.
Never doubt me, okay? Never doubt this. Don't doubt this. When it comes to this shit, don't doubt this. I wrote this script, okay? I wrote this script. I wrote it.
Original creation. But I don't really know who this is for. Not for me, that much is clear. I'm also not gonna lie, I am a little surprised that these comments haven't gotten as much attention as they usually would, because I think we are seeing on display once again another young actress leaning into the whole, it's me by myself and I am up against the patriarchy and all the toxicity. I will
The reason why you aren't seeing lots of comments about this, Sydney, is because you live in a bubble, okay? You are surrounded in your echo chamber. But when the real world happens and people are not hyper online and looking at interviews, because most people don't read this shit, they're just going to go, oh, wow, Supergirl. Oh, hey, that's... You remember Tom Holland said that he wouldn't mind if his Spider-Man was gay or bisexual. Did that trigger you? Are you surprised that people are excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day now? Do you not understand that you are hyper online and this is not reality?
Say that there are some fandoms that are not very nice, but I think by and large, with relation to fans of superhero movies and these kind of stories, they don't typically go after an actress or an actor unless they're doing and saying things that are...
That is... Okay, so you're a LARPer. Got it. Video over. Video over. Thank you, Sydney, so much. Thank you so much. 100% a LARPer. Oh my God. Does not know anything about the environment they're talking about. At all. Superhero fans, are you kidding? There's some of the most toxic people out there. They'll go after you because they don't like your fucking costume. What are you talking about? Just look up the shit about the Green Lantern. People are like, why isn't the suit green? Why is he not wearing the suit? This is going to be bad. No one said anything. It's not like Aaron Pierre said like, yeah, this is the black person's Latin for black. He said nothing. He said nothing. And they're still coming after that show because they don't like the colors. You have people in the superhero fandom who will look at a still and go, the color grading sucks. This movie's going to be terrible. They need to fire these people. People online are insane. Like the fact that she listen, Sydney Watson knows her audience is full of incels, and she's so terrified to say anything that might rub them the wrong way that she's going to say, I spend time on Reddit, I spend time on toxic fandoms, and then also say, to get, brownie points, and then also say, I mean, maybe some are toxic, but most of them don't do anything unless you start it. And then she says, unless you do something wrong. That can be anything. Like, that can be anything. Doing something wrong by saying what? People are going to attack me for my looks? Well, you see, now they're going to do it, and you deserve it. Like, and you know what the funniest shit is? The funniest shit to me right now is I saw her stuff on Twitter, and I said this. I said, God, her content is nothing but pick-me shit. I said this on June, I think like 21st, when I retweeted this? Yeah, June 21st. Without even watching the video, I said, God, her content is such pick-me bullshit. And you know what the comments were? Well, whatever. These guys are dumb. That girl isn't even pretty, honestly. A 4.3 out of 5. Ooh. Who's proving Millie right? Did anyone here say that? Did I call Sydney ugly and therefore open the door for them to attack Millie? No. Their first response is she's ugly. Never an argument, only insults. You probably don't have fingers or else they could easily mute her from away from your feed. And like, I mean, this is them talking about Sydney. This isn't talking about Sydney. That's not me though. To all the images attacking Sydney, I would like you to give me a good argument onto how the title is wrong. I mean, this inevitable video would be a pretty solid argument, I would think. Not even. Her content is good, but I get it. Most liberals just hate the truth. It's cool. It's cool. She's already taken, bro, so a pick doesn't apply. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But then this is most people who are like, yeah, actually, her content does fucking suck. And someone said that she went to a fucking Unite the Right rally in Australia in 2018. So at the very least, she's been this person for almost a decade. And then the people who joined her watch was like, the event was organized by wannabe alt-right YouTuber Sydney Watson and far-right Zionist Avi Yemeni, who at the recent far-right rally proclaimed that he was the proudest Jewish Nazi in the world. And while they tried to tell us that the march was simply for equality and open to all, the strong mobilization of the local far-right, from Blair Cottrell's Lad Society to the racist vigilante True Blue Crew and the misogynist Proud Boys, would suggest otherwise. This is the person Sydney Watson is. This is the content she puts out, this is the audience that she attracts. And it's very obvious because I was able to predict 90% of her video with have never seen her content. This is my first time actually sitting down and watching her video. That's how predictable these people are. That's how weak their arguments are. So next time you hear some dumbass come like, I don't listen to other people's arguments, now you know why. I don't have to listen. I already know the argument you're going to make. You have literally seen me fucking pre-watch this, calling out dialogue before it happens, calling out talking points before it happens, even to the point where I predicted the shit that she cut out. Like, they're not interesting people. They're so boring. They're so boring. But again, their sycophants will be like, no, you're wrong. They're based. She hates gays. They're based. Like, the fucking audacity to be like not understanding sexism on the internet. Wasn't she like a victim of like the quartering? Right? Did I make that up? Like, wasn't that a thing? Like, he was being creepy towards her? I don't want to watch this scroll. I don't want to watch this. The people showing like the side scrollers or. I don't want to watch this. I'm going to just say, based on who the quartering is, I think it was Melanie Mac. No, it was both of them. Oh, my fine. We're doing it. Fuck it. Okay, let's see. Was it 4 years ago?
Life is weird. Here we go. Here's the clip in question.
Mr. Dickenballs says, "Hey, Jack."
See, that's what she does. She does this. Like, she reads it like that's normal. Like, it's not even, she's not even saying, I'm not going to skip the name. She just goes, Mr. Dickenballs said.
Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?
Okay, that's weird. I guess other people are. I don't have to go to like. Because it's all like these fucking losers and shit. Like, okay, I don't know who Grifter is, but that's a very telling name. Oh, that's 2 hour video. I'm not watching a 2 hour or 1 hour, and I will not watch Smash JT. Fine, this one. We'll do this one. We'll do this one.
On the Kino Casino boys. Well, I don't know if she maybe she messaged him privately, right? But here's the thing. That's the other thing about the DM route as opposed to tweeting it, because
actually, I don't want to see Brandon Valentini. Fuck me. I just don't like so many of these people. Fine, Grifter.
This to me is the sort of territory I don't want to get into because as much as I don't like Jeremy and I think he's a butthole, and I know he's gonna I'm gonna just say this ahead of time, he is going to lose his shit about me saying any of this, and
it's because the quartering has threatened her directly with something. Okay, and the other person, there's another person involved. There's multiple people involved that have threatened her with something. Talks insane shit, then he sobers up and realizes it's a bad idea.
So the quartering has been drunk calling her and saying all sorts of shit. What a surprise of information on her. Quartering has nothing for free things.
Jeremy for no reason. Actually, one thing I do want to put on the record, despite the lies Jeremy told,
are they gonna actually?
And it was my entire profit margin. When I asked him about this, he said, you should have structured your business better. He claims people are doing this to him.
Jeremy tried to claim she just pocketed her companies in her daring to first time they met.
Oh my
and went out.
God.
And I made it super clear I'm not interested. I
Here we
went
go.
onto a date, and that guy and I talked the whole time. I drove Jeremy back to his hotel with 2 other people in the car. The whole time he was going on about how he wanted to fight the guy I was talking to, and basically saying he'd fight him for me. He'd get drunk and randomly text me boobs or some similar shit. But yeah, I perceived what he was doing, at least in the early days, as hitting on me.
I'm a massive prude. I freely admit this. I don't like sex talk. I'm super weirded out by it all. I don't want to know, don't want to share about it. So him being sexual was always really alarming to me, especially after all my Elijah stuff.
And I made it super clear I'm not interested.
Yeah, on the way home, Jeremy was telling me that he's going to beat this guy up and he's going to fight him. And I was like, what's giving you this indication that you're going to fight another man to, I guess, for me, like not for me as on behalf of me, but for me as in to conquer, to take the woman back to cave. Like that was the vibe. And I was like, dude, I don't know what's giving you the indication that this is acceptable behavior.
Ownership over women's bodies. That sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it?
Because at that point, you know, he'd been cool. Like, you know, he'd been someone who I was talking to about other relationships. We'd sort of talked about bits and bobs to do with our personal lives and things. And I was like, oh, this is like a friend. This is a friend, not someone who's interested in me. And that was when I was like, oh, Christ, no, sir, no.
What?
This is her audience, though. Like that's what blows me, dude. To have your own video when you're talking about Millie Alcock and saying that like she's basically lying about sexism and how it's not because you're a woman on the internet, it's because you attacked men. And Millie is saying that women in this space are treated a certain way and that people have a weird ownership over their bodies. You just explained, or not just now, but we just heard Sydney Watson herself say that Jerry Hambley, the quartering, was creepy to her, making advances towards her, hitting on her, being super sexual. She didn't like any of that. That is exactly the kind of behavior Millie is talking about. That happens to women. Do you think Jeremy was doing this to like his other male friends? Do you think he was doing that shit to women he, didn't find attractive? That is the same shit. The reason why they're doing this to Millie is because they don't find her attractive. But that's still a version of them trying to claim ownness over her body by AIing her, by swapping her face out, swapping her out with Sydney Sweeney. That is the same mentality at play here. You cannot say you go to Reddit, this is your fucking audience, and then be surprised that that's that. It's also Jeremy's audience. You guys have the same audiences because you guys talk to the same groups of grifters. You attract the same people. Of course they're going to do some shit like that. That is what Millie's talking about. And for her to say like, oh, Millie's leading into like to fight the patriarchy and whatever. What happened to you? Like, that's what kills me. It's like, you had a very unfortunate experience that you think would have level of empathy shown, but then you go around and say, no, but these other bitches are lying. This didn't happen to them. They're making it up. Because fandoms aren't toxic, actually, unless you're toxic to them. Meanwhile, this happened to you. And you're someone that he knew. Imagine if you were someone he didn't know. I'm sure if she saw the clip of him at the Renaissance Fair, the way he was just talking about women's bodies, you know what? Why don't I just show you guys that to really hammer it in? Let's just... I don't want to watch it with the keynote guys, but whatever. Let's really just hammer this point home, huh?
Child that they're sitting at the PlayStation.
Just listen to this.
Move it down.
I have a feeling we're gonna see some crazy shit, bro.
Oh, I know.
Like 5 or 6 episodes. I have that at Cody. I got Cody.
It's streaming at 7:20, boys.
Everyone get cozy.
It looks like a real crystal clear sound.
Wait, I wanna not watch what people are watching it. I wanna just see the footage. God damn it. I think they don't. I swear. Oh, you know what? It was on Twitter. Renaissance? Oh, well, no. Okay, let's do fucking full screen. Let's do Ren Fair. I bookmarked it a long time ago. And I can't find it. I don't want to watch it with people also being there, because then it makes it like I have to listen to their commentary and pause it and shit. I just want to just watch it. But I don't think that's going to be possible. So we're going to watch the video. But we're going to watch it with the Kino boys, I guess. The Kino Casino boys. Because I bookmarked too many things and I'm not going to be able to find it in time. Well, that's fine, because I'm just here to prove a point. I'm not here to fucking go through and relitigate everything that the quarter's ever done. Oh God.
Trust nobody, not even yourself.
This is in Bristol, Wisconsin. If I did see a girl in a chainmail bikini, you know, we would have got her on camera. Here's a milk. Oh boy, we got a thick girl right there, boys.
What the fuck? What?
Oh, here's another one. Oh, her cup overflows. She's a little bit old, but she overflows. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude.
MILF, yeah. Yeah. She's keeping it tight.
Is he buying
MILF?
stuff?
She DTF.
She got kids.
Here you go. Oh, wow. It's weird, but I don't really connect with people in real life. Like, even my wife, I don't really care. It's weird.
I don't think so.
Well, let's take a...
Here's a MILF. Dude.
That's enough. Here's some milk, though, right? Now, mind you, this mentality of Jeremy's is not specific to him. A lot of their audience also thinks that way. There's a ton of overlap between his audience and Sydney's audience, which is why Sydney is very careful to never, ever, ever say anything that might upset her incel-ass audience. But she knows there are people like that in the fandoms, in these spaces. She knows how women are viewed in these spaces, because not only, and she's definitely seen that clip, but not only did he do this to her, she is online. There's no way she has not seen the sexism towards women. There's no way. She spins it and tries to make it the women's fault, but there's no way she doesn't see that. But you can rewatch this video I'm going to make on this or whatever, and look at how she talks about it. Everything is Millie's fault. Basically, it's a way of saying she's asking for this. She deserves all these things. And all Millie said was, people are attacking her. People are going to have weird ownership over her bodies. And that Supergirl doesn't give a shit about orientation. She can go both ways. That's all she said. And look at that. But Sydney can't be an honest person because she's a fucking grifter. So she has to lie. Even when there's a mountain of evidence to show that she's lying and that she herself knows this, she has to do that. That is what it looks like to be beholden to an audience, by the way. That is being audience captured, where you can't even admit a basic truth that everyone knows. Everyone knows women get treated way worse online, that women's bodies are subjected to way more criticism than anyone else's. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. she can't pretend to not have seen even that Dr. Clown PhD video because she put one of his videos in her other films, her other videos, talking about God of War. So she's kind of like a Blair White. No, I would say she's worse than Blair White, honestly, because she sits here and tries to pretend she doesn't know what's happening. She sits there and goes, what does she mean by this? What does she mean? Sydney, you're not stupid, all right? You're acting like you're stupid so you can get away with it, but you're not stupid. You know exactly what she meant because you've experienced it. You know exactly what she meant. But again, you are too audience captured, so you have to pretend that's not what's happening. And as far as it goes for the Supergirl movie, which I'm going to watch this weekend, no, I'm not projecting this movie's going to make $1 bajillion. Supergirl historically as a character has never sold as well as Superman. Just hasn't. But they're probably still going to make a decent amount of money. They're probably, and most of the money they make is off of like revenue from like toys and other things, and like the way the movie structures nowadays is completely different than how it used to be. But that won't matter. The new ones I'm adding to this won't matter because the headlines are going to be Supergirl flopped, or Supergirl made less money than Man of Steel, or made less money than some other Snyder project, or some other film they're going to compare it to, right? Because we all know what's going to happen. It's the same shit that always happens. If this movie pulls like Marvel's number, like the Marvels, they'll be like, see, it's a flop. Even though, once again, people do not know how much these films cost to make. They always make estimations. But they'll be like, oh, it's a flop. It's a flop. It's going to ruin it, right? I can already tell you the headlines. I can already tell you the thumbnails. Supergirl flops. It's going to have Millie's face in it. Definitely super AI'd. And fire behind it, and it's gonna have a picture of James Gunn and like Millie's flop. Supergirl's failing. Supergirl's projecting to not make any money, right? You know they don't know the cost of it. Like He-Man's an objective failure because it made like $20 million, and we know it costs more than that just off visuals alone. But we already know it's gonna happen. We already know it's gonna happen. You wanna know how you know it's gonna happen? Because it's already fucking happening. Supergirl cooked. Supergirl is cooked. Supergirl's Millie Alcock goes full Rachel Ziegler. Oh, wow. What an interesting statement. What an original sentence. I've never heard anyone compare a woman to Rachel Ziegler. Huh. Get ready to see this picture of her a bunch. Get ready to see that a bunch. Supergirl Cope goes nuclear as box office dies. Movie hasn't even come out yet. But get ready to see that. See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? And look who it is. Look who it is. Yellow Flash 2, Nerdrotic, Disparu. Nerdrotic Daily was already talking about Supergirl's DOA 6 days ago. Ryan Cannell, a racist piece of shit. RK Outpost. They all have their talking points. They all have their marching orders. So what they're doing now is they're flooding the space right now, and it doesn't matter if they're right or not. What matters is they got their content out. That's it. That's all that matters. And it's only them, by the way, doing this. As you can see, it's literally no one else. Yellow Flash again. Oh, same video. But it's no one else. Because there's not even enough content about Supergirl right now. Because the movie hasn't come out yet. And none of these guys have seen advanced screenings of it. John De La Rose. It's the same people. It's the same people. It's the same people talking about it. I mean, hell, even Critical Drinker talked about it 2 fucking months ago before the movie even came out. Like, it's the same people. I told you, these people are fucking predictable. These people are fucking predictable. Supergirl bombs as Millie Alcock nukes the box office. What's Supergirl's box office? What's the box office right now? The tracking drops ahead, but what's the box office? You said it bombed, so what's the box office? These are just box office forecasts, but where's the actual box office? I don't see it. These guys are saying it flopped. When did it come out? When did it come out? Like when did it come out? Supergirl's facing stiff competition against Pixar Toy Story 5. Well, she's not going to outgross fucking Toy Story 5 or goddamn the Minions. Kids love that shit. Those movies make literally hundreds of millions of dollars in like a day. So I think she'll be okay. I think she'll be all right. But it's weird how these guys know that the box office is nuked. Weird. Very weird. Like, God, I honestly wish these people were better, man. I wish these people were better. I'm still seeing again, Clownfish TV. Supergirl's box office projection dropped again. And then this AI flames money, right? It's just goddamn, dude. Again, 6 months ago, superhero slop. It's the same video, by the way, you did before. It's same. Oh, of course, Vera Dark. Like it's the same. It's the same shit. If Supergirl flops, will the WB restore the Snyderverse? No, because the Snyderverse didn't work. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, it's Benny Johnson. Do you see how there is an AstroTurf campaign against this movie already? Like it's the slop tubers. It's the slop tubers, man. That's it. That's all they do. It's all they do, man. It's all they fucking do, dog. That's it. That's it. And you know what's funny though too? Is especially Critical Drinker. He has a video. I'm not gonna watch it on here, but he has a video talking about He-Man and saying that it flopped. And so did but he joined it was a good film. He wished it didn't flop. Same thing with Heels versus Babyface, talking about He-Man saying it didn't do too well, but it was a great film. Why is it a great film? Because it's a muscular white dude fighting things and being all like, hell yeah, testosterone, at least for those guys, right? But do you think if Supergirl is an actual flop like Hey-Man, do you think they will be like, well, it's actually a good movie? Or will they go, I told you, you can't have women in leads, it's too woke. The modern audience didn't show up for it like they showed up for He-Man. Oh my God. I was supposed to play that fucking game. And now it's too late for me to play it. I was gonna fucking play that Desktop Explorer game. I was excited to play it. I got sidetracked. Because you people sidetracked me. Oh shit, Dino Blade comes out 23rd of next month. Hell yeah. All right, well, yeah, we're gonna call it today. Blame it on you guys. I do blame it on you guys. It's fun to blame it on you people. So that way I abdicate all responsibility. Like, not every movie make $1 billion. So far, Super Mario Galaxy is now over $1 billion, and Michael's close to it. Yeah, but these people won't look at anything else. They won't look at anything else. They will just look at it and go, ha, this movie's woke, and it flopped. So there you go. But yeah, I'm gonna stop the stream. This is a short stream, only 3.5 hours. Welcome to my surprise Monday stream. I'm sorry I surprised you guys, but I keep keeping everyone on their toes. What's the name of the gaming channel? Oh, it's TTBN Plays. You can just find it at TTBN Plays. By the way, I'm going to start uploading a shit ton on that channel because all the VODs I have from playing the demos are going on that channel. And I'm editing it as we speak, actually. Like, I'm literally... Like, I can show you guys. Like, was the issue from yesterday found out and fixed? It was fixed, not by me. It just decided to work. It just decided to work again. But like, I am literally in the process of editing those huge ass VODs into more bite-sized like videos. Like, I'm trying to edit this out. Can I give you a big hug? You guys want a hug? Okay, hold on. You ready? Here we go. You gotta bring it in. You gotta bring it in. There you go. You guys can't say I don't do nothing for you. You guys got a hug. Nice shirt. Thank you. So it's like 2012 style Let's Plays. Hell yeah, baby. I told you my gaming channel is more retro vibes. Not in terms of gaming, but like the vibes. Old school YouTube, uploading gameplay videos, no crazy edits, just raw gameplay. Like the old videos you saw while I was showing like Markiplier and shit. I want to go to that. But in case I didn't make it easier enough, here is the actual channel. So you don't have to look it up. You can just click on it and go. Here you guys go. Here is the gaming channel. This week, though, this Friday, on the gaming channel, we are playing a new game. We finished. I have to be a good content creator. Let me be a content creator for a second. We got it. We finished. We finished Sorry We're Closed. We finished it. Why was I flexing? I don't know. We finished it, though, 2 days ago. So the next game we're playing, and I gave a preview. So if you want to see the preview, you got to watch the last stream I did. It was only 1 hour and 58 minutes. Not that long of a stream. But this section right here will be getting filled out during this week. I'm going to be editing, cutting it up, putting videos up here. So keep your eyeballs on this stuff too. This is not going to fade away. I'm putting on my gameplay here. But with that, it is time once again. It's your least favorite time of the day, I know. The stream is over. And you know it's over because the stream is over music is playing right now. So thank you everyone for stopping by. I promise I will stream this Friday and Saturday, and I won't do any more surprise streams during the week. Or maybe I will. Who knows? Bye.